This is a Miami Sports Music #1 Miami fan morning show. This is Clock Blockers. Let's go.
I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been trained to go. Fence for life, we throw the folk. Singing this just to welcome bro. To a time, to a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on? It is your boy, Stephen D. And this is the #1 Miami fan morning show. Clock Blockers right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? What is up, baby? LeBron James. Man, we got a show lined up for y'all today. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one on Wildin' Out Wednesday. I'm excited. Let's go. Wildin' Out Wednesday. Of all the days to have him do it, and we get to do it on Wildin' Out Wednesday, it's going to be a good show. It's going to be a good show. Super excited about it. Want to say good morning to my family with a PH. And my Finlaws. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your host, Stephen Daniels. You can follow me on all social media at Stephen D. SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. You can see I even changed my background a little bit. I got LeBron's with the Heat. I got LeBron with the Lakers. I got LeBron throwbacks with the Cavaliers. Boy, I'm all LeBron'd out today. I'm wearing the old school LeBron James Heat jersey with the Heat hat. Let's go. LeBron, baby. That's right. I'm all LeBron'd out today. LeBron. I can't wait to debate with y'all today. It's going to be fun. Oh, it's going to be good times today. Wildin' Out Wednesday. You can follow Miami Sports Music on all social media platforms at Miami Sports Music or on Twitter at MIA Sports Music. You can also subscribe to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all do it. Do it now. And make sure you hit the like button. Hit the like button. Even if you don't like what I'm saying about the greatest of all time, the GOAT. Even if you don't like what I'm saying about the GOAT, no matter who you think the GOAT might be, we all know it's LeBron. Why are we even having this conversation? Okay, like, come on. If you guys want to sign up and become a member of the channel today, there are plenty of seats waiting at the table for you. Make sure you all do that. Sign up, become a member today. In the description below, you'll see membership. Join the channel to get access to perks. Make sure you all do that. It's a big deal, okay? Also, hey, look, you want to help the channel grow by donating? Lots of different ways you can do it. You can use the YouTube Live Super Chat, which is the $ below the bottom of the chat. You can also use the YouTube super thanks if you're rewatching this on replay, which is the heart sign with the $ in the middle. You can also use Cash App and PayPal, $MSMpodcastNet, or use the QR code that's right on your screen, or MSMpodcastNet, or use the QR code right on your screen. Make sure, hey, if you haven't got your boxes yet for the Super Bowl, make sure you get them. We need to fill these boxes up. Come on, it's $25 per box. $25 per box. It gets you a chance to win some money and also go to a great cause like the Dolphins Cancer Challenge. So please, if you have not gotten your boxes, I'm asking y'all, let's get those boxes. I want to get those things filled up. So in the last couple of days, we only have a few more to fill up. So make sure you get your boxes today. As many boxes as you can. Let's go into a great cause, okay? I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors of the show, ZSM Sports. ZSM Sports is absolutely amazing. Cars, jerseys, balls, and hard to find items. Make sure you follow ZSM Sports today. Make sure you all do it. Hangry Owls, good food, good mood, craft subs and salads. Make sure you guys go to Hangry Owls in Pembroke Pines. Give them a call at 305-279-5332. All right. And also Vasasor. We love some Vasasor. Vasasor, born and raised It's absolutely amazing. The official beer of Clock Blockers, a beer created for the fans by the fans, just like us, a network that was made for the fans by a fan. All right. Greatplacetosit.com. You need tickets for the game, anything, Heat, it doesn't matter, anywhere in the world. Dolphins, doesn't matter. Greatplacetosit.com is the place to go, because the price you see is the price you get. In the description below, you'll see the link to a great place to sit. If you give them a call and you use the code DWA, you get 5% off on your tickets. And last but not least, Tail Greeter. Tail Greeter, download the app today on your current Apple or Android device today. Something nice about Apple. Well, they're the halftime, sponsor for the Super Bowl halftime show. Not a huge Rihanna fan. I don't not like her, but I love the halftime show at the Super Bowl. And Apple's now sponsoring it. So there's one nice thing to say about Apple today. I want to say I only have like 9 more days to say something nice about Apple. Speaking of Tail Greeter, want to let you all know we got some big major announcements to talk about that I've already promoted on social media, but I'm going to talk about it up here. Next year, Miami Sports Music and Tail Greeter will be hosting physically. We'll be doing it. I'll be at all 3 of these things. We got 3 major events that we are hosting, that we are putting on. We're doing a meet and greet the night before. We're hosting a huge tailgate. And with the exception of Philadelphia, we're going to have tickets so we can all sit in the same section. But we're gonna be able to figure something out for Philadelphia too. But we've been doing stuff for a couple of weeks now. And my hope is that by the time the schedule comes out, all the details are released. We'll have all the details set in place. But next year, I want to announce all 3 tailgates with Tail Greeter. The Baltimore Beatdown will be the first one in Baltimore. Baltimore Beatdown 2023. We had one this year. It was absolutely amazing. This will be the 3rd ever Baltimore Beatdown that we've done. And I'm super excited about it. It's going to be an awesome time. We partnered up with some amazing people in the Baltimore area, and we're going to be doing it again with them. We have a meet and greet the night before. Solo D comes through. We have a live podcast. We have giveaways, autographs. It's absolutely amazing. And then the tailgate the next day, all you can eat, all you can drink. We had our own bartender. We had our own little section. It was awesome. So we're going to be doing that again. And Washington, we're going to be doing the FedEx Takeover. That's right, the FedEx Takeover. Washington Commanders, the Dolphins are playing in Washington this year. So we're going to be doing a meet and greet the night before at one of the Dolphins' home bars. The Dolphins fan club that's in Washington, D.C., we're going to be using their bar to do the meet and greet the night before. And then we're going to have a big tailgate the day of with Tail Greeter. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a great time. All you can drink, all you can eat. It's going to be good stuff. And then last but certainly not least, the Philly Finvasion. That's right, the Philly Finvasion. The Dolphins play in Philadelphia this year. And Miami Sports Music and Tail Greeter will be there. We'll be hosting a Saturday night meet and greet at a local bar right near the stadium. And then the next morning, we'll wake up and we will be working with one of the Tail Greeter tailgates there, which is going to be awesome. So I'm super excited about it. The Baltimore Beatdown 2023, the FedEx Takeover in Washington, and the Philly Finvasion. Miami Sports Music will be there. So make sure you guys go to Tail Greeter, download the app today, because as soon as tickets go on sale, they'll be all through Tail Greeter, and it's going to be an awesome time. Okay. You don't want to miss it. If you want to know what it's about, ask anybody who went to the Baltimore Beatdown last year. They had a great time. It was good stuff. So this year we're going to be doing it right. We're going to be doing it big, and we're going to be doing it in 3 cities: Baltimore, Washington, and Philadelphia. And I'm super excited about it. Dolphins play all 3 places this year coming up. So it's going to be good times. All right. Without further ado, it's Wildin' Out Wednesday. Let me start off, man. So, obviously today's show is going to be centered around LeBron James, the GOAT. The GOAT. Why is that? Look, I understand this is a predominantly Miami Dolphins show, but we're a Miami sports show, and LeBron played in Miami for a few years and won a couple championships. That's why the Miami Heat stuff. I'm just going to tell you a little bit of my personal story as far as LeBron and how I'm such a big fan of his and why, I just enjoy watching him play over the years. I'm 34 years old. I remember the end of Jordan's career. Obviously, I grew up in North Carolina. My dad was military. He worked in Norfolk, Portsmouth. He was Navy. So I was always, I always liked Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson's from the Seven Cities, Portsmouth, Hampton Roads area. So, look, growing up in North Carolina, though, college basketball was always bigger than the pros. It just was, right? So, like, my earliest recollection of NBA or liking NBA was probably, Muggsy Bogues in Charlotte. But that was probably like my first recollection of liking an NBA team or rooting for a particular player or just liking somebody. So Muggsy Bogues was probably like my first favorite NBA player. But I always loved the Tar Heels and was always a big and hated Duke. Loved the Tar Heels, hated Duke. In middle school, there was this young phenom, this guy by the name of LeBron James, and he was huge. They would air his high school basketball games on ESPN. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. In marketing, at least for me at middle school, I had never seen anything like that. I had just never seen anything like that personally. And for those of you who are older than me at 34, in your 40s or 50s, I'm sure that you had never seen marketing or the hype of somebody like Michael. And I get that, and I understand that. But for me, I had never seen in sports somebody get marketed at such a young age the way LeBron James was. He was in high school. He was anointed as the up-and-coming, the next biggest thing, and that he was going to break all of Jordan's records, and he was going to be this great, amazing guy. And again, airing his high school basketball games on ESPN. We see high school football and baseball and basketball and all games on ESPN now, but back then, that wasn't a thing. That was not a thing, airing high school basketball games on ESPN. And I remember when he got the Hummer his senior year of high school, and was he going to lose his college eligibility? And I was intrigued and engulfed in LeBron, what was LeBron mania. And I can admit, look, I was in middle school. I was in middle school at this time. So for me, the latest thing was it. And I just remember LeBron being this big ordeal. When LeBron was drafted number 1 overall to the Cleveland Cavaliers, I didn't have a favorite basketball team in the NBA. Again, it was college for me. So it was Tar Heels over everything, and I hated Duke. I probably hated Duke more than I liked the Tar Heels, and that's real. And even to this day, that's probably a real thing. I hate Duke more than I like any other team. So LeBron gets drafted by the Cavs, and we go on, right? He gets snubbed out of his first NBA All-Star game. And I think here's why I think the start of the hate happens. I think the start of the hate happens before he ever even dribbles a basket in the NBA, because he was already anointed as the next MJ on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And anybody who likes basketball already was like, you're anointing this kid before he's even done anything? How dare you? How dare you compare him to a guy who is the greatest of all time, who changed the game, who changed the way we watch basketball? And I get that, and I understand that, and I understand that some of the hate, or some of the, I don't want to use the word hate, because there are haters out there, of course there is, but some of the LeBron bashing comes from the Michael Jordan lovers who just think that you took this kid and anointed him as the next MJ before he even did a thing. But here's the reality of the situation, y'all. When in the history of sports has somebody been anointed as the next whoever and then proceeded to exceed, surpass all of those expectations, not just hit all of those expectations, fly past them. And LeBron has done that over the last 20 plus years of the NBA. The man has never, he's gone about everything the right way. The one big mistake he had, he did it for a good intention. And that was the decision. And he even says, if I could go back and do it again, I wouldn't do the decision. But he raised $1 million for the Boys and Girls Club for that decision. So even his worst decision had positive consequences on the community. Everything about him, I enjoy. I've just been a LeBron fan since I am old enough to remember. I have, my daughter broke it, but I have a LeBron bobblehead. His head is twisted sideways because of my daughter. I love LeBron. There is, like, in my house, it's Dan Marino and LeBron James. And there is nothing that and the hate that he gets is unreal, because he tried to play the villain when he went to Miami. And it didn't work out because that's not who he is. He's a nice guy overall. He does so much for the community. And most of all, he's the greatest player to ever play the game. He's the all-time leading NBA scorer. And I can tell you, last night, we're in a little bit after halftime. I get the alert on my phone that, he's X number of points away. And I say, all right, well, let me turn on the game. Let me see if he, has that, let me see if he can hit it. And if I'm being honest with y'all, I haven't watched a lot of NBA this year. I've watched a little bit. And I know that the Lakers are mediocre and I want to see LeBron do it. And I know that the Heat are in the thick of a playoff run. And I've been watching that because, look, I'm a big Miami guy and I love that he played for the Heat. And so whenever LeBron retires, my official loyalty will go 100% to the Heat. But until that time, it's LeBron. And I can admit that. I can admit that for me, I am more drawn to a player than I was a team. And Jose Valdez, Steven, is today going to be a LeBron show? Of course it is. And I'm going to bring you all up here and y'all can debate with me why LeBron is or is not the GOAT. I want to get my 2 cents worth out. This is my show. It's LeBron Day as far as I'm concerned. So that's what it's going to be. Okay. Like it, love it, whatever. So for me, LeBron is somebody who was always been larger than life. He's always been larger than life. He's always been somebody that, I don't know. For the same reasons I think that Jordan fans love Jordan are the same reasons that LeBron fans love LeBron. The issue or the debate is LeBron had all the hate in the, like, I don't truly understand the hate towards him. I see why people do. I just don't understand it. Because if you go back and look, the man has never been in trouble off the field. He's been married to the same woman for 20 years. He has 3 great kids. He does everything right. And he still is the one of the most hated players in all of sports because of a decision that he made however many years ago. I don't get it. I really don't get the hate that he has. And, for me, it's going to be interesting to kind of see where this goes. Because I think he plays another 3 or 4 years. He wants to play with Bronny James. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who he surpassed last night, who, by the way, is the sweetest man you'll ever hear in your life. Love listening to Kareem. Mans and Chill says LeBron is the most hyped player in sports history. Most overhyped player. And how is he overhyped? The man's been to 10 NBA finals. He's won 4 of them. He's the all-time leading scorer. He's top 5 in assists. He's top 5 in rebounds. How is he the most overhyped player in the history of the game? Explain that to me. He's lived up to every expectation on and off the court. What is overhyped about LeBron? See, that's the stuff right there that I can't stand. it astonishes me. He's the most overhyped player. Are you kidding me? Overhyped? No, the man lived up to the hype. The man is the hype. He's all about the hype. He's the quickest player to reach 20. Y'all talk about it took 100 years. It took him 100 more games to get to Jordan's number. He was the quickest player to 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, and 40,000 points. And Kareem played 5 more years than what LeBron did, as far as age is concerned. Kareem was 42 years old when the record was done. LeBron's 37. He's got 5 more years in him. Do you understand what he will be when he decides to be, I'm done? I'm over it? Manson wants to say 10 finals and how many rings? It doesn't matter. The man went to 10 finals. I don't see Jordan going to 10 finals. And I'll do you one better, Manson. And I know people are like, I got to say this for the record. When it comes to LeBron James, I got everybody texting me, by the way. When it comes to LeBron James, LeBron, that first finals against the Spurs, I believe it was the Spurs. It was the Cavaliers and the Spurs. It was LeBron's first finals appearance. You go back and watch that finals. I think the Cavaliers got swept in 4. Okay. But you go back and you watch that final, and you will see that every time LeBron touched the ball, the Cavaliers bench and the Spurs bench were watching. There were times in that finals when Cleveland got out the way and just let LeBron do his thing. He took a Zildronis Ilgauskas, and nobody else was on that team except Ilgauskas. No disrespect to the other 10 people on that team, but nobody else was on that team. And everybody wants to bring up MJ 6 rings, 6 years in 8 years. And the only reason he doesn't have 8 rings because he retired for 2 of them, whatever. He retired because of an off the field issue. You call it what you want. He had off the field issues. LeBron's never had that. And even if he did, he would be entitled to after 20 years of perfection. And the only strike on this man is a decision that he raised over $1 million for a Boys and Girls Club. So explain to me how LeBron is not the greatest player of all time. Explain to me how he's the most overhyped of all time. Because I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. LeBron James is the greatest basketball player to ever play the game of basketball. Is he the greatest? Has his career had a bigger impact than Jordan's? Probably not, because Jordan played in an era where basketball was, the NBA was in this very difficult, they didn't know what was going to happen. Jordan saved the NBA. LeBron took it to new levels. So when you save something by virtue, you're going to get looked at in a little bit different light. But LeBron took that game to a totally other different level. The game was introduced globally because of the Olympic Dream Team. LeBron took it to another level. Y'all can say what you want. You can hate all you want. But when it's all said and done, LeBron is A, the all-time leading NBA scorer. B, he's a non-Celtic that's been to the final. I want to say he's been to the most finals that's a non-Celtic. I could be wrong about that. But if not, he's up there. Double-digit finals appearances. And Space Jam 2 was not horrible. Now Manza, you're below the belt with that one, sir. You just don't want to like it because Jordan did Space Jam 1. Doesn't matter. Don't you hate on Space Jam 2. It was for this generation. It wasn't for yours. All right. It is Wildin' Out Wednesday. And I know that people want to get onto this and they want to talk the hype and they want to put their 2 cents worth into this. But all I ask is that even the LeBron haters or the people that think that MJ's better, can y'all at least give LeBron his flowers on the day that after he broke? You know, I think that's all I'm really looking for. I just want y'all to respect the man. Put some respect on his name. As the great Birdman once said, put some respect on my name. That's all I want you to do with him. I'm just asking you to put some respect on his name. Because I don't think that y'all do. I don't think that y'all do. And that's what ultimately bothers me from a lot of fans, period, is y'all don't put enough respect on that man's name. All right. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop the link. I was trying to send the link to some people, but I'm having a difficult time doing it. So I'm just gonna drop the link up here. So if you're watching, you can get in where you fit in. But it is Wildin' Out Wednesday. Bands are in full effect when I start doing this. We're gonna have a fun day today. Okay. But it's LeBron Day. It is LeBron Day. Let me bring in my brother from another mother. Love him to death. He usually does Fridays with me, but he's a big basketball fan too. So I'll bring him on. My brother from another mother, Mr. Jason Sarney. What's up, Jason?
Good morning, Steve-O. How you doing, my man?
Pretty good. How are you?
Congratulations on the record.
Hey, dude, I am a big LeBron guy, and you know, it was funny because last night I'm like, you know, I know we're a primarily Dolphins-based show, and I know that the numbers will be down because I'm not talking Dolphins or football, but I gotta give respect where respect due. And I love LeBron James, and I want to talk with the haters today. And it's Wildin' Out Wednesday. So I don't think you're a hater, but I do think you have some views on this that are a little bit different than mine. So first of all, the floor is yours. What do you want to say?
He's one of the most dominant and most incredible basketball players of all time. There will never, ever be another LeBron James. But even when he was a rookie, I didn't think that it was, Jordan that was, his comparable. I thought it was like Magic, the guy who could just do it all, that size, that dominance, and really be kind of that triple-double machine. And LeBron's growth offensively, very, very impressive, of course. I just think that we're talking a little bit, apples and oranges a little bit when you're comparing Michael to LeBron. It's not to discredit either. I think that, LeBron is one of the top 2 or 3 basketball players of all time with a Jordan and a Kobe. And I think that they're all individual. And it's really anyone can argue for each of those 3 who is better. But the games are different with LeBron and Jordan and LeBron and Kobe.
All
Kobe
right,
and Jordan are comparable.
So last night during the post game, NBA TNT, which by the way, I was so mad the regular crew wasn't on. No offense to Jamal Washburn or Candace Parker, but I love hearing Kenny and Chuck and Shaq and EJ. But anyways, the B team, quote unquote, was on the NBA TNT. And Shaq was on there hanging out with them, and Shaq in the post game goes, "Hey, LeBron, so who's the greatest of all time? Tell me who's the greatest." And LeBron didn't want to say it. And LeBron's like, "I'll let that, be to the fans." And Shaq was like, "No, you're going to say who's the best." And he's like, all right. I think that I'm the best. All right. And, Shaq, after he got off, he's like, why'd you put him on the spot like that, Shaq, the host? And he's like, because if it was me, I would be telling people I'm the greatest of all time. Shut your mouth. There's no debate. LeBron is a little bit more humble than Shaq probably is. But at the end of the day, LeBron in his game, he's like, it's barbershop talk, right? It's barbershop talk. It's that, I get that there are different generations. I get that, there are some generations that believe Bill Russell's the greatest to ever play the game because he won however many rings with the Celtics, right? But the reality of the situation is, he was very dominant in his era, but can you compare him to an NBA and how big these guys are now? He wasn't playing against guys his size. He was the big guy in the league. He was that person. So the competition wasn't as fierce as it was in today's game. And then some people will go on to say, hey, look, LeBron got to play in a tech-happy, league, in a foul-happy league where, Jordan had to play against Bill Laimbeer and the Detroit Pistons and the bad boys of the NBA. And could LeBron – but I look at LeBron's side and I'm like, LeBron would have succeeded and triumphed in any era. He would have. His size proves that.
It wouldn't have been as easy. I'll give you that. I mean –
you think LeBron had it easy? LeBron, and here's a reality to the situation. When it comes to the Jordan-LeBron comparison, I look at Jordan and I say, well, Jordan had to play Karl Malone and John Stockton.
I was going to say, if Karl Malone was tasked to just make LeBron's life miserable, at peak Malone versus peak LeBron, it would be a tough sweat for LeBron to have.
LeBron would dominate the hell out of Karl Malone.
Yeah, you're right, probably. Actually, not Karl Malone is probably a bad example, but I'm trying to think of like an enforcer type from like the late 80s, early 90s.
Bill Laimbeer, right? I would have loved to seen Jordan or LeBron
would get
go up
teed
again.
out.
I mean, you're right? Like, but he would go to the hole and it would be tough, right? But
he fights every other night.
The NBA was different in the 80s and the early 90s. We're not denying that. But now here's how I'm putting it, Jason. LeBron still had to there's just so many different things that LeBron had to do to get, like, in my opinion, the NBA on a night in, night out basis is so much tougher than when Jordan was in the league. Because when Jordan was in the league, there were 12, maybe 15 superstars. Now, LeBron's got to go to Memphis and place John Morant. He's got to go to Atlanta and play Trae Young. He gets to go to the Knicks and has got to play, Ruben Rand or who's there? Barrett, RJ Barrett. He obviously Golden State and the powerhouse that they are on a night in, night out basis. Even Cleveland is a good team this year. I think in general, you go to Charlotte, you got LaMelo Ball. You go to Chicago, you got Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball. The NBA in general. Phoenix, Dallas, Brooklyn, Miami, Orlando. There is to me, on a night in, night out basis, you're facing a superstar. You're facing somebody who legit can take over the game with one swing of the basket. When Jordan was in the game, there was maybe 12 to 15 teams that were okay.
There was a lot of competition in the 90s. That's the thing. There was a lot of competition. I mean, there really, truly was, because there weren't any super teams. There was teams with 2 or 3 great players, but that was luck of the draw, maybe a couple of moves through, what have you. But let's remember that Jordan needed Pippen for sure. Like that.
Correct.
I'm never going to argue that.
And by the way, let me just state for the record that when somebody brings up Jordan didn't need anybody, bullshit.
I'm the first person to say that
he had Pippen. He had a top 50 player of all time.
Let's go through. Sorry to bounce around.
And by the way, and now you're making me think, when Jordan retired for 2 years, they still went to the Eastern Conference Finals twice. When LeBron was let go those first few years of Cleveland, those first 4 years of Cleveland, he wasn't there with the Heat. Those 4 years, they finished almost dead last in the Eastern Conference every year.
To give Scottie Pippen his flowers, that dude was a baller. He's a top 50 NBA player. I mean, he struggled to get that Bulls team to where they were that year, those 2 years or what have you. And he wanted to do it on his own when he went to, he wanted to just be away from Jordan to kind of prove that. But those two together were lethal, and they didn't need anybody. You could have gotten 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 from any other organization, threw it there, and Jordan and Pippen those years probably would have still done similar work. Obviously, the year that they had Rodman and they had, that run was incredible. Kukoc, that was probably the greatest team of all time in its season, minus those Celtics or Lakers team from way back.
The final three LeBron had, or Jordan had, that 93 to 96 team, those teams were incredible. I'm not denying that. I'm not. And here's the thing. Like,
they were incredible to watch.
And
but they didn't have
I'm being a
superstars other than
hypocrite on my own account. What I don't want to do is put down Jordan to hype up LeBron. But that's what Jordan lovers do. They put down LeBron to hype up Jordan. Why can't you say, hey, look, from my perspective, Jordan's the greatest of all time, but I got to give LeBron his flowers. I was in a barbershop 2 or 3 weeks ago and legit had somebody tell me in the barbershop that LeBron isn't top 5 player of all time.
Isn't?
Is not.
Well, that's crazy.
And was saying it, the dude was saying it with a straight face.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, how do you sit there and say that? Not only is he not a top 5 player of all time, he's probably the greatest player of all time, arguably. And the 3 players that you interject from this conversation are LeBron, Jordan, and Kobe, right? Like those are the 3 that you get. And then you have, you know,
Magic,
you got
Bird.
other players below you, and you could put Larry Bird in there. You could put Oscar Robinson, Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, Kareem, Magic, whoever you want to at that particular point. But he's top 5 player of all time.
Yeah, 100%.
And he will go. He's the leading scorer of all time. And here's the thing. He's not only the leading scorer of all time, he's going to go down as a top 5 or top 3 and maybe even top leader in assist and leader in rebounds. So he's at the top of all of those lists, but he's not a top player of all time. He's not even considered a GOAT. You won't even listen to the conversation because he's not undefeated in the NBA Finals. NBA Finals are a team thing. Jordan needed Scottie. Jordan needed Steve Kerr, Tony Kukoc, Dennis Rodman. You got to remember, Jordan by himself couldn't beat the Pistons those first few years in the playoffs.
Good teams.
Good teams.
Good team.
LeBron couldn't do it on his own either, for the fact. He went to Miami, won a couple of wings with the super team. Super teams are a thing now, by the way. This is not new anymore in the NBA. Yeah. He changed it, okay? Then went to Cleveland, won it with Kyrie. Then went to Lakers, and he won it there with Anthony Davis. Okay, so he's won 4 championships with 3 different teams. Come on. So you want to say he's a flopper. So he knows how to use the game. He utilizes the game to the best of his ability. So be it. Who doesn't in today's NBA? You don't think Jordan did that? Go back and look at some Jordan tapes. He did the same thing too. All you want to remember is the good things from Jordan, the clutch Jordan. You know that Jordan missed just as many shots as he made. You know how many games he missed on game-winning shots? A lot. But you remember the big ones because there was a lot of big ones too. And the one thing I'll say that Jordan has that LeBron doesn't, and this is a fair statement, I think Jordan has that killer instinct that LeBron doesn't have.
Yeah, no, but that is legendary.
Okay, but to me that's but that doesn't mean that LeBron's not clutch. LeBron is clutch. Go look at his numbers. Go look at game-winning shots for him. They're on the same level as LeBron.
LeBron got a lot of flack and heat when he'd be passing out of those opportunities, you know, when he would, you know, not take the last shot.
Jordan wants to take it because he didn't trust anybody else. LeBron trusted his teammates.
If you want to say it like that, I'm not going to say he didn't think that way. But
he leads in assists. He's top in assists in the NBA. He trusts his teammates.
Jordan answered the question in his head, who's the best player on the court to shoot this shot? And it's me. I mean, that's how he answered. It's not like he didn't trust his teammates. He just knew that the best player on the court was himself. You know, I mean, I guess we can call it that, but he literally would take those shots. Sometimes he'd hit it, sometimes he'd not, you know, but he'd have that killer ice water in his veins, you know, defensively too. He was one of the best defensive players of all time, you know, and for shits and giggles, when he was pissed off at the Bulls for wanting Tony Kukoc in the Olympics, he guarded Kukoc with Pippen. Kukoc didn't score a point because he just wanted to lock him down. Like, that's like factual. Like, that Jordan could turn on this killer instinct that I don't think anyone in sport really ever had. And that's the differentiation. That killer instinct.
Well, I'll tell you for me, you know, what I want people to understand, or what I want people to put some respect on, is LeBron, look at Cameron right now. It says Mavs were good this year, but my point is Bron couldn't beat them with Bosh and Wade. Here's a reality, right? Everybody wants to talk about who needs who. We're talking about the title of the mantle here is the greatest of all time. That encompasses more than just championships and more than just stats and more than just records. And to me, LeBron encompasses all of that. And if you want to take off the court, which I do, by the way, look at his record off the court. It's amazing. It's impeccable. Look what he's done for his community, for the culture, for the foundation.
Well,
there's no denying that.
There's no denying that.
So look, I will also say this. I said this a little bit ago. I'm gonna bring Caslin on here in a minute. It's Wildin' Out Wednesday. We get to do big panels on here today. The other thing that I wanted to state too, or kind of already talked about and touched on it a little bit, is that LeBron James didn't have to save the NBA. Jordan was saving the NBA when he was doing what he did, which is, by the way, where I think he got that killer instinct. The NBA, the year before Michael Jordan came into the league, the finals were on tape delay. They weren't even live. The year before Jordan came in the league, the NBA finals were not a live event on TV. They were on tape delay. It was recorded, then played at a later time. That would never happen today.
Well,
and by the way, and look, people want to say Magic and Larry did that. That's fine, but even in the Magic and Larry era, the NBA finals the year before Jordan came into the league, the NBA finals were on tape delay. Jordan came in and just there's probably truth in Magic and Larry saved the NBA. Their rivalry did. But the NBA knew they needed somebody else to take up that mantle because those two guys weren't going to be there forever. And Jordan took it and ran with it.
That torch basically was passed at, sorry to reference it again, but 1992. Like the dream team, when it was Magic, Bird, Jordan, Malone, Stockton, Robinson, that whole awesome team. Basically, that was almost like the torch pass.
Such a disrespectful comment. Changed the game more than LeBron. Get out of here, Kenna. I can't listen to you today. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Curry changed the game more than LeBron. Please.
What Magic and Bird did for the game was put the NBA kind of back into this, back on the map, and made it enjoyable. And what Jordan did was make it global. Jordan made it global. And Jordan gave really the platform. David Stern wanted to take it global from the early 90s.
Say what you want about David Stern. David Stern probably saved the game more than anybody else.
Best commissioner in the history of sports. And I say this, I'm not just the first job I had out of college was working for NBA Entertainment. Like I wrote reports to David Stern. Like
hold on real quick, Jason. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I don't mean to interrupt. No, but please. He's in the back, and I got to bring him on.
Cameron, you got to bring Cameron on. He's ready to roll. Cam's ready to roll.
What do you want? What do you want, Cameron? Where? Go ahead. Say what you got to say. Please say what you got to say.
LeBron achieved something nobody else did in the NBA history. You have to give him his props for that. Period.
And nobody probably ever will touch his, especially if he plays longer.
That's where I get upset about all these jock jumpers such as yourself getting on LeBron.
Jock jumpers? I've been a LeBron fan since day one. I'm not a jock jumper.
Yeah, you've been jumping his jock since day one. My point is LeBron is great for this era. And we can argue all day long about who would be better in what era, but I think it's fair to say LeBron in this era is the most dominant player in this era. To say that he could do the things that he's doing now in the era that Jordan played or the era that Bill Russell played is totally unfair and something that you really can't compare. As Sarni said earlier, it's comparing apples to oranges, right? It's two different games, two different, atmospheres, cultures. The type of player that LeBron plays against today is much different than the game of basketball and the players that were raised in that culture back in the 70s and 80s and 90s. Like, it's not even comparable. And I think Kevin Durant and Stan Van Gundy were talking about this on Twitter. It's the type of player that's been being raised throughout the game today isn't even comparable to the type of player that was raised in the 70s and 80s.
But LeBron can't help the era that he played in, Cameron.
And I'm not disputing that. And I just said LeBron is the greatest of this era. But to say that he's the greatest of all time, I think it's unfair to label any player the greatest of all time at this point. You could say LeBron's the greatest of this era, Jordan was the greatest of his era, Bill Russell was the greatest of his era. No, and George Mikan was the greatest of his era. And I think that's a fair statement. And it's like a Mount Rushmore, right? Like you have those players up on the Mount Rushmore, and there's no disputing that. Bill Russell had more rings. You know, MJ, you know, did so in a period of time where, you know, it was much less than LeBron. LeBron's been doing this for 19 years, right?
20 plus years.
Or whatever it is, since he was 19, is what I meant to say. And you can't really, like if Jordan had that type of longevity, and the only reason that Jordan didn't have that type of longevity is because of the style of game that was played back then. You know, if
they weren't taking load management. There was no load management.
No,
I will tell you that load management is something that bothers me greatly in the NBA.
Listen, it is what it is, but that's the reality of today's NBA, right? And it's more of a one-on-one type of atmosphere. There's no team ball. There's no four corners. There's no passing the extra pass as there were in the 70s, the 80s. There's no triangle offense that Jordan operated in, where 3 passes were a must before the ball got to the point of attack. Like, there's none of that.
It's a completely different game. Correct.
And to say that LeBron is the greatest of all time, he's the greatest scorer because the stats say so.
All right, so here's a question. So for those of you who don't know, Cameron and I are on a text thread, a couple of different ones, and we're always sending each other text about. He's more sending me stuff about Jordan more than I'm sending him about LeBron. Although last night I was like, LeBron motherfucking James, let's go. I was so hyped last night.
Listen, I didn't need to see it. I turned it off for the first quarter and went to bed. but
you turned it off? You didn't even watch? It's
No,
history, man. It's history. I'll tell you a funny story. So last night I was actually a little upset at myself because I didn't wake my son up to watch it. And it was late. I get it. I understand it. But I remember my parents waking me up on September 8th, 1998 for Mark McGwire's home run. I remember them wake me up late at night and watching, hey, McGwire's up to bat. Do you want to come watch? And I'm like, yeah. And as soon as I go out into the living room, right over the left field wall at Busch Stadium.
I remember that.
And for me, that was a huge thing. I'm like, holy cow, he broke Roger Maris's record. He goes up to Roger Maris's kids and he hugs them. And that was a big deal. And last night I was talking to my wife as it was going on. And I'm like, this is history. We are all witnesses to history. And then look, and then in the very next commercial break, Nike has "We Are All Witnesses" commercial. And that's what my problem is with a lot of the Jordan lovers, LeBron haters, is they are not willing to put LeBron up on that mantle either to say, well, what we've seen over the last 20 years is absolute greatness. They don't even want to give him credit for it. And that's
you know what, I don't think that's true at all. And there's a couple different reasons for that, Stephen. I think the media cycle is so diluted with, me right now information that we see it, right? Like back when you just described it, McGwire and Sosa, like the internet was just a thing, right? There was still game of the week that was one baseball game a week, and it was the feature game, right? And this was the second point that I was going to make, is that you were alive to witness, Jordan when he came into the league, or you weren't watching basketball at least.
Yeah,
at
I
that point. It was 1984, right?
I wasn't alive. I wasn't alive.
Okay, so it's
88, sir.
Just as I wasn't alive when George Mikan did his thing. So all I have to do is go back in history and look at the statistics and whatever footage. But fast forward to today, like we all have opportunity to watch, analyze, dissect everybody's game, whether it's swimming, basketball, football, baseball, tennis, because of the media accessibility, right? And so we can be, and just as like the three of us do on this show, we have our opinions based on those things. There wasn't no opportunity for that in the 70s and 80s when
There wasn't.
80s and 90s. You know, it was beat writers, it was, you know, Sports Center, and that was it. It was Jim Rome. You know,
God, how horrible! I'm sorry, I was never a big Jim Rome guy. Now let me.
He's right though, because growing up, you know, when football was over in like the early '90s, it was like February, March, April. NBA and NBC, those 90s games, I mean, the regular season games between like the Knicks and the Bulls, or, you know, even like the Heat and the Hornets, the Sonics and the Rockets and the Spurs, these games meant something. And the competition was just, it was just different. Maybe superstars different, but the teams were teams. They were actual cohesive units, and you were getting phenomenal games with these stars and role players mixed in the 90s. That it was just a different game.
All right, let me ask you something, Cameron. And by the way, Caslin and Lewis were in the back. They both dropped off. I want to bring you guys on, so get up here, Caslin and Lewis. You know, I said something that I truly believe is legit, that the competition, the level of competition in the NBA today is a little bit greater than what it was 15, 25 years ago. Because when you go to these bad teams, there's really good players on these bad teams, and I don't think Jordan ever had to even face that.
No, that is the biggest.
It's different skills. It's like basically the game has changed to the point where it's different. I mean, look, obviously in the 90s, 80s, 70s, you didn't have these 7-foot shooters and people who could handle the ball. The skill sets are different because the emulation of a Dirk Nowitzki, the emulation of a James Harden, the emulation of a Steph Curry, how these guys have all added to change the game, that wasn't around because what Jordan was doing, he was creating the dunker era, the Vince Carters. You know, he was creating, and Jordan even came from like your Julius Erving. So there was just different types of players, you know, and like, the NBA is such an amazing league. It really is, with such a rich history. I sound like such a historian. I love basketball, you know. I put centers on a different platform. You can't put Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, Shaq with LeBron, Kobe, and Michael. You know,
and Jensen, how about Kareem? And
Kareem.
On a hook shot. He was not a three-point shooter.
I mean, you're right. It's like I love having the two favorite debates that I have in my life are Hall of Fame football and NBA greatest of all time, because there could be 5 different people on this panel give 5 completely different top 10s with a couple of differentiations or whatever, and no one could really argue with them. If you really don't want to argue, well, you're talking 5 centers and 5 small forwards and they're different, but that's the point. You know, if you want to say who are the best 10 centers of all time, let's rock. Just make sure Hakeem Olajuwon is on that list, right, and I'm okay.
Let me get Lewis in here real quick. Lewis, good morning, Lewis. How are you, brother?
I'm good, Stephen. Good morning, Jason and Cam. How you guys doing this morning?
Pretty good, man.
How are you, brother?
Go ahead, man. Get your 2 cents worth in, and I'm gonna bring Caslin in here in a minute too.
All right, so the big thing for me when I look at it, right, and no one's trying to, like, take craps on LeBron. LeBron is a great player. I kind of agree with Cam. In this era, he's the greatest of this era. But the thing for me, and I can just speak for me, when I look at Jordan, you look at the guys he played against. Patrick Ewing, no rings. Charles Barkley, no rings. Reggie Miller, no rings.
It's because of him.
And it's because of him. You look at LeBron's era, bro, Tim Duncan, multiple rings. Steph Curry, multiple rings. Dirk Nowitzki, a ring. And it's like, bro, that's when LeBron never stopped anybody else in his era from winning.
Hold on, Lewis, to be fair, okay? And I understand those Knicks teams were decent, and I understand that some of the other teams that they played, but you look at, you know, You're going to tell me that Golden State team isn't stacked? You're going to tell me that Dallas Mavericks team wasn't a great team that was put together with Dirk and everybody else that was there? I mean, there's some really amazing teams that I would argue that they faced those Knicks teams or those teams that lost those NBA finals, that they would have won those too, those teams.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. When I look at it, you look at Patrick Ewing, that's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Reggie Miller,
yeah,
Hall of
I
Famer.
get that. I understand. You're talking about players.
But Mark, there was multiple. The Indiana Pacers team with Reggie Miller. Mark Jackson is the all-time leading assist guy. Correct? He was on that team.
Hey, I have said this since day one. If Indiana would have got their ring, if the Malice in the Palace had never taken place personally. But with that being said, 95% of Reggie Miller's career, Reggie was the only person in Indiana. Who else was there in Indiana?
Mullen, Mark Jackson.
Oh, please. Those guys weren't winning a ring,
Well,
especially against Jordan.
I'll tell you,
your point,
Steven, you need to put some respect on Rick Smith's name.
Oh, my God.
I'll tell you.
The Davis brothers.
Ask Shaquille O'Neal, who some of the toughest battles that he had, center to center. See, that's what I miss. That's what I miss. If you watch basketball in the 90s,
1,000%, Jason.
I loved the game within the game. What's the game within the game? Oh, we got Spurs Rockets. I can't wait to see Robinson, Durant, Olajuwon go head to head because they're playing chess. These centers. That's what they did with each other.
Dude, how about
Rick
how about the
Smith
Portland
gave
Trailblazers?
Portland Trailblazers. Oh God, that was a hell of a team back then.
Clyde Drexler,
Clyde Drexler, Terry Porter. I mean, those teams were amazing because those teams were amazing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Even like. You could look at the bad teams, the 8th and the 7th seeds. Let's go to the Nets. They had Kenny Anderson, Derek Coleman, Drazen Petrovic. Remember Drazen Petrovic?
But time out. This is, I'm gonna let Kaslin go here in a second. But this is my problem with y'all on this panel. Okay, y'all. Every time I bring up the greatness of LeBron, you want to push the narrative of who Jordan had to play compared to who LeBron had to play.
Well,
Why
you
can't
made the point, Steven.
I mean, look,
Right.
I did make the original point. That is fair. But what I will say is it still doesn't negate that this is still something that is – the reason I brought it up is because it's always brought up to me from the Jordan lovers and the LeBron haters. LeBron –
I'll tell you this right now. Stephen Curry,
I'm telling you, it bothered me so much last night, Cameron. I'm on social media, and I get what social media is. I understand it. It is a place for keyboard warriors. I get it. But it bothered me so much that LeBron had triumphed and accomplished something that easily could be held. Even if it is broken one day, it won't be for a very, very, very long time. And on top of it is an accomplishment and a feat that it took a long time for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to do, right? So you look at that and you say, man, look, why can't people give LeBron his flowers? Even the haters were still saying he's no Jordan. He's not Jordan. I don't care that he got it. He's still not the greatest. No, man, applaud this man. Give this man his flowers here. It bothered me.
Listen, we all are applauding LeBron. You cannot call him the GOAT.
He is the GOAT. What are we talking about, Kaslin? Kaslin, man. Good morning, Kaslin. I know you're not with me on this either.
Oh, I'm definitely not with you. I don't even think he's the greatest player in his time. But
whoa,
what?
Whoa!
Who is the greatest player of this generation?
Of his generation, Kobe.
I can't have this argument. Why? Why? Because he got 5 rings. LeBron's 4.
I'm not I'm not one of the LeBron haters. I think he's good.
You sound like it, Kaslin.
No. I think he's good. He's definitely a top 5, but he's not the best player of all time.
Okay, but you don't even put him as the greatest player of this generation.
No,
and
he's not even.
No disrespect to Kobe, who I loved Kobe, huge Kobe guy. All right, I was not when he played, but after he retired, I had much appreciation for what he did.
Well, the way I look at the way the NBA is now compared to the way it used to be, it's totally different game. You had hand checking back then. You don't have that now. You have a bunch of pansies, in my opinion.
That's a good point.
But
as
you have a bunch of teams building super teams where back then you had great players on every single team. There wasn't one team that had a bad player on it back then when Jordan played. And Jordan stopped so many players, and I mean Hall of Fame elite players, from getting a ring. It wasn't anybody else but Jordan doing that.
That's a fact.
If Jordan was playing now.
Hey, so, by the way, real quick, last night I tweeted LeBron is the GOAT, hashtag LeBron James. Somebody tweeted, I won't say who, back to me. He said, nope, he is trash. He plays in a soft era. He wouldn't do crap in the 80s or 90s. LeBron is the best. LeBron is only the best of his era, not greatest era ever. LeBron is trash? Come on, man. Are you kidding me?
But
get out of here with that. Miss me with that, bro.
If he played in Jordan's era, he wouldn't have even close to the amount of stats he has now. Not even close.
Agreed.
He would be getting dominated. Every time they play the Bulls, you have Pippen who can take care of him.
Pippen would,
Pippen would lock him down. He'd get. And I'm not saying he wouldn't score points over Pippen because he's a big boy, you know. But I'm telling you right now, if Rodman was on him, Rodman would make his life an absolute miserable hell.
And the plan would be for Rodman to get fouled out or teed out. That would be the plan. It would be to get into LeBron's head, make his life miserable. He'll score 21 points, but the Bulls will win the game.
Right. And they called that the Jordan rules, right? They tried to do the same thing with Jordan, Detroit, New York.
And they couldn't do it.
The Jordan rules, and they couldn't do it. And those are facts.
Because
as a New Yorker,
that is a fact.
When Jordan retired, or the first time when he retired, Knicks fans were coming into high school like they were really legitimately, it was their year. Like every East.
It should have been their year, but the Rockets, they were that team, cuz.
Well, they were that team, and they were the team that benefited the most. But Orlando had a great team too one of those years. You know, Nick Anderson missed 2 free throws. Nick Anderson got it.
Hold on. So we're gonna forget that Mike.
I like those teams. Those are my.
Brad.
I like
John Starks.
No, not the Knicks. I wasn't never a Knicks fan.
Hold on. So we forgot that Mike has dragged up and down by Detroit, so they changed the rules.
Oh, stop that, Von.
No, he did not.
No,
stop that, Von.
Did they change the rule? What you talking about?
Hold on. I don't understand the LeBron hate. Good? No, he's great. What did you talk about, Kaz? No, he's great. He's phenomenal. And especially the black. Right?
Hey, you're breaking up. You're on my side. I need you to get a better signal.
I'll be back when I get home. Keep my phone.
Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing too.
Von Joe, you better than that. Von Joe, you better than that. Stephen D, you're wrong. This era. First of all, this era here,
all-time leading scorer.
This era is soft. Everybody and their mother is scoring 40 points or more. Listen, when you can have guys,
has been averaging a triple-double for his freaking
these guys
career.
That's putting up 60-point games in this era wouldn't be scoring up 20 points in the Bulls era. Stop it.
To be fair, my wife and I are watching the game last night, and the game is like 118 to 110 at one point, or 112. And my wife goes, and I quote, she's like, basketball games are not supposed to be this high scoring. Like this is
it's ridiculous.
This is ridiculous that games are going 118 points. And now my wife is a big defensive person. Her favorite team growing up was the Detroit Pistons with the bad boys of the NBA. Then she liked those Knicks teams of the 90s. And then she, fast forward years later, she didn't watch some basketball. She loved the Celtics teams with Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen, and she liked those teams. And now she enjoys watching Golden State. She likes those teams. But I've always told she likes teams. She likes teams that have their bench and their role players be significant. Andre Iguodala, somebody who was huge and instrumental in that one NBA Finals, I think in like 2018.
People that value defenses.
I understand that. what I'm getting at, here's my point. LeBron, when it all comes down to it, I mean, there's just he can take over a game, and it would here. My biggest beef with LeBron is he doesn't go to the paint enough. I wish he would go to the paint more. But there's a reason he's played for 20 years in the NBA.
You know why?
Body's safe. He's kept his body from getting hurt.
Right, but he's horrible at free throws too.
Prime
Steven,
time.
that is such a feeble excuse, and really, it is a definition of today's generation. What you just said.
Soft.
It's soft. Steven, you know that this.
Hey,
they invite you to the basket in today's era, man. Nobody puts up no defense whatsoever.
He's the GOAT. He is the GOAT. Look at this photo. Look at that.
No, he's the low. He's the luckiest of all time. He's the low.
He's the luckiest of all time.
He's the low.
That is such a horseshit statement.
Steven,
he's the low.
Steven, just because you create a great thumbnail doesn't mean he's the GOAT. All right? Let's calm down.
It is a pretty good thumbnail, by the way.
He's lucky to be playing in an era that doesn't play defenses.
That is true. That is so true, because I want to go back to the scores, and going back to those, weekend games, those highly contested games late in the season that were positioning for playoff seeding, 89, 87, those East Coast battles, again,
right.
If it was the Pacers versus the Knicks, I was seeing possession to possession. Oh, let's go. Oh, did you see that move by Starks? Oh, did you see that play by Oakley? Oh, great pick and roll. Great defense. It's 70.
How are we going to label LeBron the GOAT when Stephen Curry owns him?
That's another good point.
Draymond Green. Draymond wouldn't be, or Clay.
Stephen Curry owns him, but he couldn't get a Finals MVP versus him.
Hit me with that.
Hello?
Well, I can give you Bosh and Wade, and you won't like that.
And I could give you Scottie Pippen, and you won't like that.
Make sense.
I'm just saying, man, LeBron decided to come in a day and age where he's the king of flip-flopping. He's the greatest of all time at flip-flopping.
He said he
had to jump to how
decided
many
to come.
teams to get where he's at now? At least Jordan stayed consistent.
At least Jordan wasn't jumping all over the league to chase rings.
Jordan went to the Wizards and he couldn't do shit.
But that was at the end of his career, after his second retirement. What are you talking about?
I don't want to hear it. He left.
Because that was after he won his 6th title. What are you talking about?
He couldn't do it without Pippen.
Bye, Cam. Later, Cam.
Now.
Oh, he could have done it without Pippen. Oh, he would have done it without Pippen. Oh, yes, he could.
But he didn't.
He didn't need to. Pippen was on his team the whole time. No,
he needed Pippen.
He didn't need Pippen.
Pippen was on his team the whole time.
Y'all out y'all fucking mouth.
Pippen was along for the ride.
What year?
Oh my God!
Bro, I would put Robert Horry over LeBron, bro. I would put Robert Horry over LeBron if we're doing this.
I love when people bring up the Pippen case.
Who is that? Is that Cap?
I'm just saying, as far as the toughness and the amount of rings, if we're doing rings, I'm gonna give it to Horry all day. If you want to talk about as far as like being like a label,
nobody's talking
like
about rings.
I'm
not talking about rings.
LeBron James is not space the amount of competition like Michael Jordan has or Kobe has.
Who's the best player?
Kobe over LeBron.
Who's the best player ever? Who's the best player? Not the GOAT. Not the GOAT.
Michael Jordan.
Okay. All right.
If
Jordan, Kobe was better than Jordan, but I'll rest.
Jordan can play
That's a horrible take. That's dumb as hell.
Jordan can play in any era.
No way Kobe was better than Jordan.
All right, hold on.
Kobe could do everything Jordan did.
Hold on, Rashad. Hold on, Rashad. Go ahead.
I'm holding.
If you had what team would be, in your opinion? I mean, he had 4 championships. He's been around 20-something. Prime LeBron. What team are we talking?
There's 2 teams that come to mind. Prime LeBron. Okay. The two Heat teams that won back-to-back, I think, were really absolutely amazing.
All right, so let's use that team. I'm glad you used that team. That's a
okay. And the second, and there's actually 2 ways.
The Cleveland run where he averaged 38, 11, and 9.
The Cleveland run with Kyrie was awesome, but the one where he
with Kyrie.
That 2000
Kyrie was hurt.
That 2004 team, I think, that they went to the finals with against the
Mo Williams, Dallas Mavericks.
They had
Ziltranis
Ilgauskas and Mo Williams and Anderson Varejao and like that.
Larry Hughes was hurt.
Larry
Hughes,
bro.
But they got swept by the Spurs.
Hold on.
Curry played LeBron head to head and beat LeBron. How is LeBron the GOAT?
Michael Jordan never got swept.
He did not beat LeBron.
Michael Jordan never got swept. He's 6-0 in the finals.
Hey, he never had a game 7 either.
Hold on.
He's 6-0, never had a game 7.
I finished my statement.
He never went up at. Go ahead.
All right, Jason asked me, peak LeBron. If I go back and look at that finals, he was the best player in that series.
Well, my point,
by far.
Chris Bosh bailed his ass out. I was here. Come on.
No, I'm not
Jason,
talking about
come on.
Jason,
Help me out here, Jason. Come
I'm
on,
talking
Jason.
I want to get my comparable out. If I'm looking at that team and I'm doing a
Which
virtual
team? The Heat team?
The Heat. He's got Dwayne Wade.
Okay, the back-to-back.
Right?
Okay.
And I'm looking at, if we could, in our minds, create that matchup with the Jordan and Pippen team, Pippen is going to probably guard LeBron, and Jordan's going to guard Wade. We're not talking about the same team.
The Bulls team would destroy that Heat team.
Thank you. Exactly.
They would annihilate that Heat team. They would destroy them. That Bulls team would destroy that Heat team.
Sonny, hold on. Sonny, everybody give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Y'all are talking about a team versus the players.
Yes.
Y'all are talking about a team, a better Jordan team versus LeBron James.
Yes, I have one question.
I'm just saying that
listen to what you're saying right now.
But that LeBron James team was considered a super team. The Bulls team was considered a super team.
Nobody's denying that.
It was a super team.
Scottie Pippen was the second best player in the league.
That term wasn't.
They wasn't labeled a super team until LeBron decided to go to South Beach.
Crypto.
Charles Oakley and Dennis Rodman and bringing those people in, and Tony Kukoc and all these, they brought these guys in because they helped them win championships.
They were super role players. They wasn't superstars in and of themselves. Kukoc wasn't no superstar.
Scottie Pippen was the second best player in the league to Jordan.
Pippen wasn't a superstar. He
was a superstar.
Way late.
Kukoc wasn't no superstar.
Who has LeBron played in his era, though, bro?
Jordan.
Who has been LeBron's
It was just Jordan
biggest...
Pittman, though. Everybody else was role players.
Yeah, but there's nobody here that LeBron has played to say that he's been.
LeBron has nothing but role players. What are we talking about?
Credit the Bulls,
bro. We're talking about
when he went to the Heat. That was a super team.
Jordan was facing dogs. LeBron is facing who? The Ball brothers. And
Marsh was not considered a role player. He came from Toronto to build that team.
He was one of the triplets. It was
it must. Is it hard to hate this much on a day in, day out basis? It must be, because
nobody's hating on LeBron. He just benefited from a soft era. That's all we're saying.
What you are saying is Jordan had better teammates, which makes Jordan better. That's what y'all are arguing right now.
Bro, you got guys
he played against a gauntlet of defensive teams where there's no good defensive teams now.
You see the
best defensive team is still giving up more than what anybody did in the 80s and 90s. They would be dead last in defense. The best defensive team this year would be dead last in the 90s.
Excuses.
There ain't no excuses, just the era's weak.
There ain't nobody
defensive era.
Jordan.
I got something better for you. Jordan has never faced a player as good as Tracy McGrady in his prime. Kobe in his prime. He's never seen a player that good. He's never seen Kevin Durant in his prime.
That's Cap. I'm suspect of these haters.
Name him. It's Cap. Name him. Name somebody as good as Kevin Durant. Name somebody as good as Kevin Durant. I'll wait.
Hold on, Steven. I don't have a lot of time.
I said a prime Kobe or Kevin Durant or Tracy McGrady.
Or Iverson. You forgot Iverson gave him a crossover. What are you talking about, bro?
That was a rookie Iverson.
So
Give
can I
me
say
a
something?
prime Kevin Durant, Tracy McGrady, or Kobe
Pointed at
Bryant?
you, Von Joe.
Name
Can I
one.
say something? Because
Tracy
want to
McGrady
Name
can
one.
never get out of the first or second round.
If
Rashad.
Rashad
He
and
never
Crypto
did
was-
nothing himself.
if
He was a
Rashad and
choke
Crypto was
himself.
quiet, you might get a word in, Bonjo. Rashad and
I mean,
Crypto
how much
taking
you
over
want
Right,
the
to
show.
say?
Shaquille O'Neal got
Hold on.
drafted
I
in
don't have
'94,
time,
so he
guys.
would go in the
I'm
Bulls
trying
era
not to
in the
I ain't got nothing
'90s
else to
era.
say.
Steven, can you
I
mute
have
your
Right,
nothing
but
else to
I'm
say
I'm
because
saying
they
really
came
trying not
Jordan
to
in
yell.
played all these players. Jordan
All right,
played all these great players.
Go ahead, Bonjo.
So,
Reggie Miller, bro.
again,
Get out of here.
we keep saying Jordan was great. Yes, he was great. He saved the NBA. Kobe was that bridge, because that was disrespectful to say Kobe's better than LeBron. Nowhere near. Kobe was that bridge between Jordan and LeBron, who was dubbed. And again, I don't understand, and I was trying to say this before you guys couldn't hear me. I don't understand, especially in the black community, the hate for LeBron James. I really don't. Because this young man, single mother, right, wasn't in the best neighborhood.
For the record, VJ, I don't hate him.
Let me finish. Again, I didn't say you. Again, I understand.
Bonjo. Preach.
Especially grew up with a single mother. Father wasn't really in his life, right? At the same time, if you put that combination, he was really destined to fail. In our community, that's really pretty much a formula for failure.
Correct.
Right? Dubbed the chosen one. He sat there, owned the title, and lived up. Not only lived up to it, was literally surpassed it. You didn't hear nothing off. So on court, he took Eric Snow, dragged him kicking and screaming into an NBA final. And he was starting from his rookie year. He was doing this. Off the court, he married his high school sweetheart. Had kids. You didn't hear nothing off the court. You don't hear anything of him disrespecting his wife. Anybody heard anything about him disrespecting his wife?
Nope.
Off court? Okay.
Nope.
He built schools in his community. He didn't invest in jailhouses and prisons, unlike Jordan.
Take him to church, Vonjo.
Okay.
Blaze Peach is overpriced, bro.
Off the court, his resume off the court, impeccable.
Yeah. Are we talking
on
off
the court? He's lived up to the billing.
Okay.
He lived up from the hype since day one.
So I really don't
That's not the
understand
argument.
the
He's a
hate.
great player. That's not it.
I'm not hating whatsoever.
For you to sit there and say
no
that he
one's
is not, for somebody to say that he is good, no, you are disrespecting a great player.
To be fair, Jason didn't say that. Now, Caslin said he's not even the greatest player of this
I don't
generation.
even like LeBron James. That's the bad part about
Literally,
it.
the man. Hold on.
And
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, this generation and this open era, he is the greatest.
I
of
want
this
to add
generation.
to Von Joe because he's
Just
100%.
gotta put
Curry on
context to it.
LeBron, and Curry
Hold
doesn't
on,
even have a finals
let
MVP
Jason go,
vote.
guys. Let Jason go.
Head to head, he's beaten LeBron twice, bro.
Guys, listen.
No, that team did. Shut up.
Guys,
He didn't even win the Finals MVP against
Guys.
LeBron. What are we talking about? We've seen Curry sit there and wilter under pressure. You have to. The only reason there is a Steph Curry is because of the rule change, the Curry rule change, and they changed the rules during the hand checking. Because when the game was more physical,
Vonjo,
Curry couldn't stand up. Okay, go ahead. I gotta go anyway, guys.
That's true too, Vonjo. That's
I
key
gotta
to
go
the
anyway,
softness
guys.
of the
Hey,
era.
I'm gonna let you guys. They changed my work schedule, Steven. So
Hey, Von Joe,
Von
before
Joe,
you go.
I'm about to praise your words. I hate you to leave right
I'll
now.
still be listening, but I gotta go. I
Hey,
gotta.
does your shirt say, Von Joe, my dreams are capped?
No, my dream ends yours. That's how that works.
We are all with you.
I'm
Go
not
ahead,
even
Jason.
Von Joe is absolutely correct. And I am not doubting LeBron's greatness, his importance, his community value. I am the first one to praise him and say, I love LeBron James. I worked for NBA Entertainment his rookie year. I've watched so many hours of LeBron James and basketball as a whole. I appreciate the sport. There are so many players who can be in the equation for the Mount Rushmore. And just because we're saying that LeBron is not the greatest of all time, that is not in the logic of me saying he's not great. You know what I mean? So when I'm putting my Mount Rushmore together, he is on it. But the top head of Mount Rushmore for me is Michael Jordan, because if there was no Michael Jordan, Steven, we might be on tape delay still. Who knows?
No doubt.
Who knows? But LeBron in this era,
maybe the ABA. Maybe the ABA would have been.
Jason, I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. It's Russell, Kobe, Jordan, Magic, and it's a toss-up between Shaq and Olajuwon, bro.
See, I love that.
Be honest with you.
I love that cap, because I always say, and again, in this argument, it's one of my favorite, because the first thing.
Are you saying Bill Russell because he's got 11 rings?
Hold on. Because the first thing that I like to say is,
yes.
I hate doing it. I got to take the centers, and I got to put the centers in their own pile, And for me, you got to talk Russell, Wilt, Mikan, Shaq, Hakeem, Robinson, Ewing. There's a lot of guys in that.
And I have a hard time leaving Bird out of there too.
Right,
I have a really hard time leaving Bird out of it.
LeBron
is one of the coldest.
Jason, LeBron can play the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5.
I'm not doubting
Sonny,
it.
So can
not in the 90s. He not playing no 5.
Sonny, I feel where you're coming from.
He's probably not playing the 5. That is correct.
In the late 80s, he became the first person to basically play all 5 positions. He took the tip, Magic Johnson, and LeBron was that to me when he was a rookie. I'm like, oh, wow, we have maybe the next coming of Magic Johnson. We don't have the next coming of Michael Jordan because he's already.
Are you out your body?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I
reply.
never saw LeBron as the next Michael. They have different games.
Yeah.
Michael was never bringing the ball up as a point guard. He was a scorer. His job was to score.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron did everything, and I'm not saying that Jordan couldn't do that.
Oh, wait. I got a question.
Jordan messed around and passed the ball really well, too.
We did have
I got a question for you, Sonny.
Yeah.
Sonny, I got a question for you.
I have a question for you guys.
Wait.
Rashad, Robert hasn't gone yet. Hold on, Rashad. I know you were going, but Robert hasn't gone yet. Let Robert go.
Oh my God.
So I'm going to caveat this because I'm not a big basketball fan. I don't watch a lot of it. I don't know the history of the game or spit. But I would put out this one question. Gun to your head, you were betting on someone to win. Who would you bet on? If you lose, I'm going to pull the trigger.
Not even close.
Every time
It will be Michael. He got the better killer instinct.
So let me say this. I'm going to give you an answer, Robert. I'm going to answer 2 different ways because I'm going to give you another question with it.
No.
If I needed somebody to hit one shot on a last second, for me personally, it'd be Steph Curry. Let me just throw that out there. Okay. But if it was between LeBron and Jordan, it would be Jordan. But if somebody asked me if you had to start a team with somebody in their prime and you could get any player you want, it would be LeBron all day long. I wouldn't even think twice about it. I wouldn't even think
the comparison of the question is, or the debate is centered on who's better. And if I just simplify and boil it down to its basics, one game, you need your team to win. Who are you going to base it on?
Michael.
What? So one
solves it for me.
That's a shot. That's to win the game.
Yeah,
that's not a whole game. That's not a team.
If I needed one game, probably be Jordan. But if I needed to start a team and I could pick any player to start a franchise, it'd be LeBron all day long, twice on Sunday.
I mean, if I'm playing that rule, I'm putting them both in the same team and really enjoying myself.
Let me second this with Sarny. Let me back this up with Sarny. I'm going by generations.
Okay.
By generation, not GOAT, not best career, none of that. Player.
Yeah, I agree with
Style of play. Who was better out of Jordan and Magic as a player?
I different games because what do you?
It's 2 different games. No. Listen to the question. Listen to the question.
Okay.
Player, all around player. That's everything you're doing on the court.
All around player. You play all 5 positions. Magic.
I'm not going to see as much as Jordan getting a rebound, taking it down the court, and doing the kind of pass that Magic would do. It's not fair. It's not fair to Jordan in that case. Magic to me was what I wanted LeBron to be, and that's nothing bad on LeBron. Like when he was a rookie, I literally said, I'm sitting here in the broadcast operations center in Secaucus, New Jersey, saying, I think we got the next Magic.
Right.
Not the next Jordan. And I don't think that's an insult.
So here's my second question: all around player, and I'm the biggest Kobe fan. You know, I'm planning out my Kobe monument on my leg right now in the tattoo. Kobe or LeBron, better player?
LeBron all day long. All day
Kobe.
long. LeBron.
All day LeBron.
I'm picking Kobe.
Kobe.
See.
I'm with Jason, bro.
I'm picking
LeBron.
Kobe
And
because
there's no
killer
disrespect
instinct.
to Kobe.
All right,
I love
let me
him.
tell you something about.
There's no
let me
wrong
tell you something
answer
that
to
goes
this.
beyond
Just to
skill.
let you know.
Let me tell you something that goes beyond skill, and we could talk the clutch thing, and we could talk whatever. There is a killer instinct that Kobe Bryant shared with Michael Jordan, and that is it.
Share with
I
Michael
have not
Jordan.
seen any kind of killer instinct that Kobe
Yup.
Bryant had in
Kobe
his
never
game,
had the
and
smiling face
I'ma
with
be
his
real.
agenda.
No, let me tell
I'ma
you a
be
story.
real.
Let me tell you a quick story, and again, I go
Jordan
back to
didn't have
international
the instinct
basketball.
that Kobe
You
had.
want, Kobe had the greatest killer instinct in the
I'm gonna
world.
be real. Yeah,
He had
the
it. And I'm
greatest.
gonna
There you
Kobe's
go.
whole game
There
was
you go.
modeled after
There
emulating
you
Jordan.
go.
What are you talking about?
Yes, and he bettered it.
He bettered it.
Exactly. Kobe
The killer
took
instinct.
How?
that killer instinct and made it his own. He played against Pau Gasol, his best friend,
He took
How did he
World
better
everybody.
it?
and ran through Pau Gasol.
He added more
Did you see
moves
that?
to it, Crypto.
No, he
2-2.
didn't.
Did you see the international
Jordan
basketball
had a
game?
sky hook. Wait, Jordan.
Let
Jordan had a sky
Jason
hook.
go. Let Jason go.
I'm trying
My
to play
bad.
on
My
your
bad.
point.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to
Go
answer your
ahead.
point. The killer instinct that Kobe had was playing a teammate in Laker Pau Gasol game and saying, I know what play they're going to run. I'm going to run through the motherfucker right now. And basically, Pau set a screen, and Kobe ran through him and trucked him on the first play of the game. Google it, YouTube it. And everyone on both those teams said, oh, God. That's what we're dealing with. They're best friends. But in the international stage, Kobe saw an enemy.
Now,
That's different. That's
here.
a different level.
So, to the original thing, we're sitting here talking about LeBron and Jordan, and that's fine. We're talking about Kobe, LeBron, and Jordan, and that's fine. What I want y'all to understand is that there's greatness that we have witnessed for the last 20 years that I want y'all to appreciate what we've witnessed, because
Right. I'm happy I
no
seen it.
one we're ever
I'm
going to
gonna
see
be
it
real
again. Let's call that out there, right? If you ask me if Jordan if LeBron retires, or when he retires, you get Giannis, right?
40,000.
Giannis is probably up there. But if you're asking me who's going to take over the mantle, it's probably going to be John Morant, right? Like, I think John Morant will eventually be the most exciting player of the NBA. Giannis
You
is
can say
debatable.
that. You can. I see what you. I see what you're getting at.
There's a lot of people in the John Morant role
That's true.
that can take over.
But
Donovan Mitchell was having a hell of a year.
Yeah, but where's the Jordan at? Where's the Jordan?
The
here's what I'm
Jordan
getting
style
at.
of player
When
is
Magic-
gone.
When Magic and Bird left,
There
Jordan
was
there.
a Jordan player.
When
There
Jordan
was a
was
Jordan
there.
player.
When Jordan left, Kobe was that transition. And during that transition with Kobe, LeBron came up through the rankings and surpassed Kobe, in my opinion. Okay.
Hold on.
And so it goes. This is how it goes as far as the game is concerned. It goes Magic and Bird, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, and I don't know who's going to take over after LeBron.
Well,
I don't.
hold on. My
There are some
I got
youngins
robbed.
out there,
I
real
was
young.
a huge. I watched basketball religiously when I was a kid, and when Jordan retired, I kind of just. I mean, I watched it because of Kobe, and other things, but I didn't watch it as religiously. And I stopped watching it after Kobe was gone. I liked Allen Iverson, so I watched a little here and there with him. I didn't start watching basketball again until I saw flashes of greatness out of Derrick Rose. And I guarantee you, if Derrick Rose didn't have the injuries,
he
didn't get hurt. He would have been
goated right now. Probably the greatest point guard of all time.
But Caslin, you're playing a what if game. But I will admit to you that I have that same feeling about him.
I love that. I
see a lot of John
play.
Morant
I also
and Derrick
believe,
Rose.
in my personal opinion, that if the Malice in the Palace had never happened, that Ron Artest could have been up there as a top 25 player of all time. But that's just my opinion, and I don't have much.
I won't go that far. Maybe defender.
City, Ron.
I mean, dude,
top 10 defender, but not all around player.
He would have won NBA MVP if he didn't have Malice in the Palace that year. They would have.
I'm gonna tell y'all a
beat
player to watch
Detroit in
out
the
for.
Eastern Conference, and they would have went on to win the championship.
They had a great team.
That
Had
rookie,
an amazing team,
Jermaine
and I
O'Neal was
think
the baller
Artest
on that
would have trajected it. Would moved his
Jermaine
career.
O'Neal was just a guy.
there's a rookie in Orlando that y'all should keep your eye out. Barring health, Pablo is one of
he's good.
Mentally, he knows you can't stop him. That's the one thing I did not like about LeBron growing up. He wanted to shoot threes. Like, you're faster than everybody. You jump higher than everybody. Just go through them. That's what I wanted LeBron to do. Pablo is like, you're too small.
Ryan says what I feel is everyone acknowledge LeBron's greatness, but rubs people the wrong way is LeBron self-praising what he does. No, LeBron last night, clear as day, Shaq put him on the spot. Hey, man, who's the greatest of all? I don't want to do that. That's barbershop talk. Nah, man, I want you to do it. Nah, I'm good. Come on, man. I'm not letting you go until you tell me that you think you're the great. All right, man, look, I think I'm the greatest of all time if you ask me, but honestly, there are so many great players from different generations, and they all deserve to be acknowledged. What did LeBron do there? That like LeBron kept on deflecting, self-served for the sake of Shaq, and then still deflected and said, "Hey, look, man, there's a lot of amazing players from a lot of generations." I think so many people want to say that. That's my problem with the LeBron hate too. Part of it is y'all think that he is this person because of the decision. The decision affected his, like, if you go look at the top hated players in all of sports, LeBron has made the top 10 every single year for 20 years. No reason. No reason.
20 years, Steven?
What do you mean no reason? Bro, he lied to Pat Riley's face.
Why would he be hated in his rookie year, in his first couple years of the season?
He was anointed because he was anointed as the next MJ without dribbling a ball.
He lied to the Miami Heat, bro. He lied to us on purpose, bro.
I don't care.
Oh, God, you're saying why he's hated? I'm telling you right there in Miami, that's why he's hated.
He's not hated in Miami. And if people are hating in Miami,
play with it. Play with it. You think that he's wanted here? Okay.
If LeBron goes back to the Heat, which by the way,
the
he's
Heat
not
will take
with the Lakers.
Heat will take LeBron.
Bro, if he's coming over here, it's because they're probably going to retire his jersey like we did Jordan, bro. Like that guy, he knows damn well he's not going to come back over here, bro.
I wouldn't put that out of the question, man. Wherever Bronny goes, I think is where
I would
LeBron
go KD over
That's
him
where
at
he
this
go.
point.
Yeah, he said he wants to play with his kid for a
He
year.
said last night, he said, for whatever franchise I play for in the future, like, I'm going to give it my all, my 100%. He didn't say, like, I'm telling you right now, the Lakers won't be his last team. And if you ask me, I really think he's going to play for 2 more teams before it's all said and done. He's going to go play with Bronny, wherever Bronny is. And I still think he'll either go back to Miami or Cleveland one more time.
Well, that depends. That depends, Steven. If you notice, the Lakers are holding on to that draft pick where Bronny's eligible to go to the draft. And then it's going to be up for grabs who takes Bronny. Like, what team?
Whatever team gets him, that's what he's doing.
Bronny, whatever team gets Bronny gets LeBron.
Just think of the question is, when you're drafting, whichever team is out there, whatever pick you have, do you take Bronny just to get LeBron James, or do you actually draft?
You be stupid.
You take that chance.
You get it
exactly.
You're the greatest of all.
You have to take that chance. You gonna have them on his team at the same time.
Real talk, in Major League Baseball, there's been, Jason might be able to help me, I think 8 or 9 father-son combo duos, which include, King Griffey, the Boones,
Bond,
Bobby and Barry. Did they play at the same time though? Did they get to play at the same time?
They got to play at Pittsburgh. They played at Pittsburgh.
Not father's
father. The brothers there.
Yeah.
Father was
there might only be 3 or 4 now that we think about it. But I'll tell you one that I did get to witness: Tim Raines Sr. and Tim Raines Jr. Tim Raines Jr. happened to be playing for Boston at the time, and it was Cal Ripken Jr.'s last game. Tim Raines Sr. was playing for the Montreal Expos at the time, and the Major League Baseball allowed him to get released and sign with the Boston Red Sox in that last series. So the father and son. So I've seen a father and son duo in the history of the NBA. There's never been a father-son duo.
Yeah, that would be the first.
First.
Yeah, that would be the first.
Like, just the fact that they were there, his boys was there to witness that. That was dope.
So I thought Bronny was the better player. They're saying his other son is better than Bronny is.
Bryce?
Yeah.
Bryce shoots lights out. He's a knockdown shooter.
Bryce is going to be better than Bronny.
He's 6'8" and he's just now. Bronny is 6'3". Bryce is 6'8".
He just hit his
Bronny is coming into his athleticism.
But to answer
if
the
you watch
question,
it year by year,
100%. If I'm that team,
crazy.
Whoever wins that lottery, number 1 overall pick is Bronny, because you get LeBron. You'd be stupid not to do
it depends on who's in the draft.
In front of Bronny, which from what I'm aware of, there are no generational talents over the next 2 to 3 years. You take Bronny. You 100%.
He's turned his son into a lottery pick because of how good he is at his age.
Is that fair to
That's
Bronny?
crazy.
Not, but Bronny's a good player in his own right, and he would go to the NBA on his own account because he's good. He's really good.
Yeah, but he'll definitely be top 2 pick in that draft, and not this year, but next year.
Lottery pick, but he would get drafted. He's a top 25 player in the country.
He could be. No, he's not top 25. But
well, whoever's sitting on a buttload of pitch, Danny Ainge, that's probably where he's most likely going to go. They got like 12 first-round picks in the next 6 years.
Oklahoma?
I don't ever want to see that man play for
No,
Boston.
Oklahoma doesn't. Actually, Utah has the most first-round picks.
Okay, well then, go to Utah then. Let the Jazz finally see some relevance again. But yeah, man, Jordan's son is trash, so LeBron wins. Stephen DS, SKPL, he's got better. Yeah, Jeffrey Jordan. Jeffrey got Scotty's wife. Jeffrey got Scotty's wife. I'm just saying.
You're wrong for that, Stephen. You're wrong, Stephen.
I'm just saying. Jeffrey got Scotty's wife. All right, Miami Sports Music's number 1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Cat Blockers, Cop Blockers,
You know, Scottie Pittman's got a son that's is in the league, right?
Yes, I do. He plays.
Pittman's son's in the league.
He plays for the Lakers G League.
He plays for the Lakers. He's a G League player. He's a two-way player. He's a two-way player.
Scottie Pippen's son.
The Super Bowl box picks. Guys, I really need to fill this thing up, so I need you all to stop getting these boxes. It's $25 per box. I've had a couple of people buy $100, 4 boxes at a time. If you want to get a chance, end of the first, $250, end of the third, $250, halftime $400, and final score $500. We got to get these boxes sold. So go ahead and
you didn't put mine on there yet,
man. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
I said you didn't put mine on there yet.
Yeah. Caslin. It is updated. Hold on. It is.
Nope.
I have it right here. I guess. Hold on. I do have it. I don't have it up here, but I do have it. I did put them in there. That's not the updated photo. Delete overlay. I got to find the updated photo, but I do have your boxes in there. I'm looking at the PowerPoint now of everything that I have. It'll take me a minute to put it into the screen. But all right, Jason, I know you got to get out of here. You want to do final thought for yourself? I'm not doing final thoughts. I'm just saying you want to get out of here. I'm going to be on for a little bit longer today.
I appreciate you bringing me on. I love this debate. There's no LeBron hatred on my end. There's a lot of names that really could be thrown into the equation of
a little bit.
No, I don't have any LeBron hate. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I grew up watching Michael Jordan, and to me, he's the greatest I've ever seen. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the second greatest or the third greatest is not in the equation, and that's LeBron. So to me, my trio, the 3 best basketball players that I've had the pleasure of watching, like us all, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. And we could do LeBron, Kobe. We can interchange. Fine. Zero hatred on LeBron. I'm a witness, like we all are, of the greatness on and off the court. I commend him for his work in the community. I commend him for what he's meant to so many, the money that he's given, the educational philanthropic work that he does, everything. I am a fan of LeBron. But in the rankings in my basketball, he's in the top 3. And that's what I'll leave it.
I ain't mad at you, man. Hey, man, look, real quick, while I got you on, man, you liked a particular post that I had You're coming down for these things?
My neck of the woods. I'm in Philly, and
Yep.
I'll definitely
I'm in
be
all
there.
of them.
And to tell you the truth,
Philly invasion, the FedEx takeover, and the Baltimore beatdown, man. Again,
I'm
2023.
I am in. I will be there.
And you got to get your boxes. Caslin, there you are. I told you I had it updated.
Yeah, give me put me down for 18, and I'll throw you
Say
a
what?
PayPal. Put me down for 18, and I'll throw you
All right,
PayPal.
go ahead and put it in, and I got you in there for 18. Jason Sarney just got box number 18.
There
Love
you
it.
go. Good work as usual. Everyone,
There you
enjoy
go.
your Wednesday. Fins up,
I'll see you
everybody.
on Friday. You'll be here Friday?
We'll be here, sir.
All right, Jason. Love you, brother. Be
All
good.
right,
Ladies and gentlemen,
later.
Jason Sarney.
Later.
Love it. All right. So, hey, I know this was a LeBron James inspired show, but man, I'm so excited about some of the things that are coming up in NBA. Any final thing we want to say before we move on to a little bit of football talk here, guys, about LeBron or the NBA period? No, nobody wants to say anything.
There's no love lost with LeBron. He's
Stop
just the
taking
second.
days off.
He's just the second best
The
player
day
of all
before.
time.
Jimmy Butler.
Oh my God, y'all are too much. All right,
Stephen D, you a Jordan. Stephen D, you a Jordan hater. Stephen D, you got to stop the nonsense.
Oh please, whatever. Hey, did y'all watch the show yesterday?
No.
Did I watch? Which show?
I
This
think it's
one?
a chance.
See, I can't with y'all. Y'all can't even do it. Yeah, I talked about free agents and the
I
Dolphins.
didn't know there was a show.
So what?
Did you start late? Did you start late?
Yesterday.
All I know is Brian Flores got hired by the Vikings, and that
Right.
the Giants are willing to pay David. What's his name? Daniel Jones up to $40 million.
I'm not happy.
Wow, they actually is going to give him the bag. There you go.
I wanted Flo on Arizona. But
why does it matter? He's not here. He's not even in the conference.
If the Giants end up paying Jones that type of money, they're setting a precedent for the remaining contracts for other free agent quarterbacks, which is not going to be a good thing for the Dolphins.
Yeah, they are kind of putting the market out there for Daniel Jones. Well, he is a playoff. He just got a one playoff win under his belt, so.
Yeah, I kind of like him.
On the first season, on the first year head coach.
Are there any free agents that y'all want to see on the Miami Dolphins next year?
yeah, Love.
Jordan Love, he's not going to be a free agent. He's going to be.
No, he's not a free agent. He's on his rookie contract.
Safety from the Giants. Love.
I'm not familiar with him.
The safety, yeah, I know him. Yeah, I didn't know he was a free agent.
I think that's us. I think he went to Stanford or something.
He's it'll be about $7.5 million a year.
Well,
you guys got to be rooting.
Safety.
If you want anybody from Philadelphia, you better hope they lose, because if they win, Philadelphia win on Sunday, you're not poking anybody from that team because they're gonna run it back.
No, I still think they're gonna get rid of Bradbury. I think they'll let Bradbury go because they have 2 picks in the first round that they can replace it with easily.
Well, I mean, it's very plausible that Bradbury.
But they'll be picking the last pick of the first round.
Yeah, no, they have another pick early in the day too. They have pick 11.
Christian says Saquon Barkley. Would you all want to see Saquon?
No, because he's
you got to elaborate on.
But he's on his last leg, Steven. He's got a lot of tread on the tires.
It's like Dalvin Cook and freaking what's the other guy? Josh Jacobs. It's like all retreads. They're all the same, in my opinion.
I don't mind Barkley.
You're taking a chance on Barkley.
Yeah, I don't mind Barkley, but I think with the way everything is right now, you can get a better running back right now in the draft in the 4th round. There's just so many good running backs in this draft. So why would you
What
pay?
makes me afraid about getting Saquon Barkley at this stage? He might be on his last legs. He might blow out his tire.
Go look
he might
up
just be on the rims.
Look at Tajay Spears from Tulane. Look at
No,
that.
I don't doubt you, man. The problem is I just don't trust Greer drafting running backs. It's like I do
but hold on. Right, but
Give me an O-line.
McDaniels,
I don't care about nothing else.
if McDaniels is as good as
don't draft
everybody
him.
says he is,
You better go
as
get
far as
somebody
in
ready.
knowing how good running backs are, be able to draft a good running back. So if he's as good as everybody says he is, then let him pick the running back. That's
All these good.
Sorry,
You're gonna
that
get
was
a
my
running
dad.
back. Get the kid from Texas Tech.
All these good running backs in the league right now have stout offensive line, and I've seen them without offensive line. They're not Saquon with no O line does not produce. They fixed the O line. He had his best season. Carolina,
They do
The
got running
only
backs that don't
Carolina
the
rely on
only
lost their
offense.
running back I
O-line.
would be interested in would be Tony Pollard if you could get him for the cheap. But one, I don't think he's a free agent.
I don't
Two, I
want
don't
him
think he's
if
gonna
we
be
don't
cheap.
have an O-line. I've seen it. What I seen the Eagles do and the 49ers do with them offensive lines and them running backs, they couldn't pass the ball. So they said, we're just going to run the ball. And it worked. The other defense, these two
That didn't work too well for the 49ers in their last game.
You can say what you want. They still ran the ball. And
But they didn't run it successfully. They ran up against a brick wall. You can run it all you want if you get 2 yards carried on
They were down to their fourth quarterback.
Did you not
They
see?
were
They
at
knew they
their
was running.
fourth quarterback.
Hold on. They knew they were running the ball, and CMC still was running through people. Offensive line still.
Once every 16 plays, when the game was already decided.
They were on their fourth string. That's the number one defense versus a fourth-string quarterback. They almost had to put the fullback in at quarterback.
They weren't doing nothing but trying to do trick reverses with Deebo Samuel and got stuffed out.
They knew they were running the ball. There was nothing else they could do.
And they wasn't successful at it. They only put up 7 points on the board.
All right, bro. And how did they get it?
Okay, congratulations. You got 7 points, and that's all you got for the whole game. And you lost by 20-some points.
You're missing my point. Crypto, if I go out there with offensive line, if I go out there with the offense, say the Dolphins, say we go out there with
where did it get them?
Listen, Crypto. Say I go out there with no quarterback, just our offensive line in a run game. How many yards we get?
You ain't gonna get much. You ain't gonna get enough to score points.
We won't get 10 yards. Let's be real.
You can run the ball in between the 20, but you can run the ball in between the 20s all you want. If you ain't getting in the end zone, it don't matter.
I hear you, Crypto. That's not my point. I'm saying we can pass the ball. I'm saying give me that offensive line that I've seen all playoffs. I want that shit. Add that. I'm cool with our running backs. Our running backs.
No one's arguing that we need to improve the offensive line. It's just the question was, which running back out there interests you?
I get that. What I'm saying is you can take whatever running back you want. I don't want them running behind what we got. I want to.
There are some running backs that don't have to rely on the line as much too. I
watched Philly run the ball with 3 running backs, and I only know one of them. I've never seen Kenneth Gainwell a day in my life, and he was
drafted in the second round.
You do realize that there's a
very with the Carolina, North Carolina.
There's a very good chance that the Dolphins are just bring back Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert, and they don't even.
That's what I hope. Bring back them two and give me that same offensive line the Eagles got.
They do that.
Bring back them two. I want to see that. That's a show right there. I would love to see that.
Well,
that'd be entertaining.
Gonna have to give a better offensive line.
I'd be okay with that.
I like the two. I like the experience they bring. Yeah, what's up?
No, you have to admit that there are some running backs in this league that don't necessarily rely on the great offensive line play. They just run over people.
That's true, but to what extent? Because Derrick Henry can do nothing
from Houston.
Wait. They have an offensive line.
But he breaks more tackles than anybody. He leads the league in more yards after contact than anybody.
I'm not saying he doesn't. That's the same thing with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is a break tackle machine. We know this. But until they got them dogs in Lawan and all of them in Tennessee, we didn't see nothing. We had to wait until he got them 2 yards past the line of scrimmage to see what he was capable of, because he was getting hit in the backfield trying to wait for a hole. I want our offensive line. Put a hole right there. Let Wilson do his moves. Let Mostert power through the hole and speed burst down the sideline. I want to see what that's like too. Don't get me wrong. There's better running backs out there. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all.
I've been sick of Mostert. He's got injury concerns. Once he start getting a lot of tread on his tires, he start getting hurt.
So here's another question for everyone. What do you guys think about the thought process of Rodgers going to the Jets? Think it's going to happen, and what do you think?
I think it's going to happen.
I think Hackett being there is going to help a lot.
Aaron Rodgers legit wants to be in Miami. That is the number one place he wants to go to. I don't see that happening here, by the way.
No.
And with that being
what
said,
makes you say we're number one team?
Why do you think that?
Because he clearly said it at the end of the whatchamacallit.
He said he
that
would
was
love
before
to,
Hackett got fired.
And he said on Pat McAfee's show, if somebody had great receivers and a super like a really good offense, I would take less money to play in a place that has that.
You know what
so
team that
the only
is?
place that
he would take less money. That would be the Jets.
Here.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that, Steven. Because you know
That
where
team
there's
would be the
another place where
Jets.
wait. You know where there's another place where they don't even have what exactly. Exactly. Darren
Vegas
Waller,
is
Hunter
another team,
Renfro, Adams and Jacobs.
Aaron Rodgers ends up in one of three places.
And Renfro.
New York Jets, the Vegas Raiders, or the Miami Dolphins. And I don't see us getting him because I don't want I really don't want him. But
the weather's not bad. The weather's not bad in Vegas neither.
Yeah, I think he ends up in Vegas. I don't think he wants to go to New York, but New York's going to have the better offer on the table.
They definitely will have the most money and the bigger offer.
It'll be such a significant offer. But Vegas knows
$65 million.
But Vegas will know they don't have to put the best offer on the table and can still get him.
Yeah, because he has the leverage of, well, I'm just going to retire.
And Adams is calling for him, and I guarantee. I think Jacobs would leave, but if you bring Aaron Rodgers, I guarantee you
Green Bay and
he'll stay. Jacobs will stay if Aaron's comes.
And say you could trade me two places, Vegas or Miami. You figure out which
Derek
one.
Carr's going to end up with the Saints.
And I guarantee you, everybody on the Raiders taking discounts. They don't even need to take discounts, but they will. Jacobs will be like, "Oh yeah, sign me back today." How long is Rodgers here for? 3 years? Give me a 3 year.
Nah, he'll be there for a year or two, but I like that's where he's either going to be a Raider or a Dolphin.
He's 1 year deal. So it's to the players' advantage to take these 1 year deals because they can just go wherever they want.
Now here's a question.
Take a 1 year deal.
Here's a question. If Miami gets wind that Rodgers said, "Hey, I either want to be in Vegas or Miami," does Greer put a package together, or does he just say no?
If he says he wants to go to Miami hourly, like come out in the press conference and say it.
If he says he wants to come to Miami with a pay cut
through back channels, he like it's known that, hey, look, they Rodgers says he either wants to go to Vegas or Miami, and then Miami gets wind of that. Does Miami put together do they consider it first?
Greer does, but I don't know if Stephen Ross he has to sell it to Ross.
Ross already said he'd like Rodgers.
It's the price tag that comes with Rod. It's what you have to give up to create the space for him, and then what you have to give up to bring him over here. That's the problem. You're going to weaken so much of the because
who's Jason Tatum the GOAT? What kind of disrespect is that?
Yo, what's up, Steven?
When he won his last Super Bowl,
it's Greg.
That wasn't a stacked team.
Greg, get out of here with that madness. That's a play for me, Jason Tatum.
When he won his Super Bowl, he didn't have.
That wasn't a stacked team.
Miami.
That was a 6-seeded team he took to the Super Bowl.
For the record, I don't think Rodgers is going to be anywhere near Miami. But
he doesn't need a stacked team to win.
I'm not saying he needs a stacked team.
Rodgers has all the leverage in Green Bay. And so Green Bay is going to say, okay, we're not going to trade him to an NFC team. All right, well, then that leaves only open AFC teams, right? So they publicly said they're not trading him to an NFC team. They're going to trade him. If they trade him, it's going to go to an NFC team. or an AFC team. So now you have the AFC teams, and you look at what's around, and you're like, where's he
Steven,
gonna
you
go?
think Green Bay gives a damn about NFC versus AFC?
But he can retire. He will play. He will trump that card if it comes to it. He'll just say, I'll retire. I'm not. You could trade me to Seattle. You could trade me to. And by the way, I guarantee you he's not staying in New York, because my big thing is he hates the fact that he's in Brett Favre's shadow to begin with. You think he's going to go to his next team, to the very next team that Brett Favre went to? No way. Not going to happen. He's already forever linked with Favre, and he hates it. Like, he doesn't want to go to the Jets.
Nah, I think it's kind of faded, Steven. He's not linked with them. He's won a Super Bowl on his
Favre
own.
and Rodgers do not like each other one iota. And so if Rodgers ends up leaving Green Bay, which he will, and going to the Jets, to me, I don't see it happening.
But Steven, he's already gotten that monkey off his back. He's already won a Super Bowl on his own.
No, there's still time. He'll go back to tie.
And what if he goes to the Jets and win a Super Bowl?
Hey, stupid question.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Does he have a no trade clause like in his contract where he can dictate where he wants to go?
He's got it's like
but he can retire.
It's not a full no trade clause. It's not a full no trade clause, but the trump card he has is, you trade me somewhere to where I want to go, or I'll retire. And Green Bay, they almost had that card a couple of times. It would behoove the Green Bay Packers to get something for him, and to get it just makes sense. All right, we'll get rid of you.
But what is he owed? What is he owed this year, money wise?
He'll renegotiate
million, I think.
wherever he goes. He's not worried about
This year, I think his hits like.
Well, no, the only.
It's not that high this year.
That's next year.
I think it's 52.
Yeah, he has stated if he
That's
goes
just
to
1 year.
He said on Pat McAfee's show yesterday or the day before that if he goes to the team he wants to go to, he'll renegotiate his contract. He already said that.
No. The clause in his contract is for Green Bay. What helps Green Bay is he has the option to stay for the money that they promise him, or he can opt out and be a free agent and get a new deal. That's the clause that he made last season. Because remember, he wanted to leave. He was like, "I'm not going to play."
Well, does anybody remember? Does anybody remember? Because I heard Steven earlier say it. Well, if he comes out and he says, "Oh, I want to play for Miami," he was on our field on Christmas Day, and he said, "I would love."
That's the question I just proposed.
That's truth behind it.
I said he's gonna go. Here's what's gonna happen. So on Pat McAfee's show, he said, "Look, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go do a 4-day blackout where he's gonna go into this." By the way, he's definitely different. I'm not saying he's weird, but he's definitely different, and he does different things. But he's like, I'm gonna go into this 4-day blackout. I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna figure out what's going on. Here's what I believe will happen. I believe he's going to walk back into Green Bay's front office or call them or whatever, but essentially he'll walk to Green Bay's front office and say, "Hey, look, ouch, I want to play another year. I don't obviously want to play with you guys, and here's where I don't want to go. If you guys decide to trade me to these places, I will retire. I will play that card. So feel free to trade me. Here's where I would like to go. Option A, would love to go to Miami, would love to play in South Florida. If Miami doesn't want me, I'll go to Vegas. I'll be more than happy to play with Devontae Adams in Vegas." So I think that he will say where he wants to go, where he doesn't, and it'll be up to Green Bay to make the trade and get him what they want. I think the best trade on the table for Green Bay will be from the Jets. But in my opinion, he wants no way, shape, or form to go to the Jets. And if he does, I would be very surprised. If he gets traded to the Jets, call me, color me surprised, because I will be very
then let's play this game then, and we'll go down the list of everybody that's up here, right? Okay. And we'll start with Stephen D. Let's say your scenario is correct. He goes into Green Bay and he says, "Hey, I want Miami."
So the GM's going to call up Greer.
Okay, so what I'm saying,
going to call up Greer and say, "Hey, Roger says he wants to get traded to you. Are you guys open, or would you guys be interested? Or are you open to a trade?"
Y'all are looking at this completely
Greer's
wrong.
going to say, "Let me call you back." He then's going to pick up the phone to Ross, and he's then going to pick up the phone to McDaniel and say, "We all need to meet." What we got an important decision to talk about.
Okay, but Steven, this is what I'm saying. We'll go down the list. We'll all play GM, right? And we'll start with you. We'll go down to crypto and stuff. If you're the GM, if you're sitting in Chris Greer's office and you get that phone call, Steven, do you make that trip? If they call you and say, Aaron Rodgers has just informed us he wants to be a Miami Dolphin, do you pull that trigger, Steven?
My next question, here's what I would say. Number one, I have no problem discussing things with you quietly. If anything gets publicly stated, we're backing out and we want nothing to do with this. I then would say I want to speak to Aaron Rodgers personally. Call up Aaron Rodgers on the phone. You say, hey, look, this is where we're at. We originally were going to go with Tua. We want Tua to be the guy here, but we understand how good you are. We get, what you bring to the table.
That's the damn question.
So with that being said, we are not prepared to pay you $50 million a year. So what is the lowest amount you will take per year to come and play here? You'll take 20 million? Okay. Maybe I might consider it 20 to 30 million. Anything above 35 million, I don't think I want him. Because I do think I get, Steven, you're the guy that says that the salary cap doesn't exist. There's a big difference between $40 million and $12 to $20 million contracts, night and day. And so a 40, 50, $60 million contract would hamstring us on many different levels, and we'd have to make a lot of things work. And then you'd also have to figure out, well, what capital do we have to give away? And if it's not draft capital, who do we have to give up? So can I hold on? He wants me to go. I'm going to give my full spiel. Can I call up Gasecki and say, hey, man, would you be interested in a sign-in trade? We'd love to re-sign you and we'll trade you to Green Bay in this, Aaron Rodgers deal. That's a possible thing, maybe. The other thing is Christian Wilkins is going to be on the table in that scenario. I don't want to see Christian Wilkins go. But do I get rid of Christian Wilkins for the sake of bringing in a top-tier quarterback for the next 2 years? My point is I think it starts with the money. If Aaron Rodgers says he's willing to take a significant discount to play down here in Miami, I'm at least having conversations. If he says he wants 35, 45, $55 million, I have a very difficult time giving him that money for something that is not a guarantee. And that's just my opinion on it. That's where I go with Rodgers' situation.
Can I go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the reason he's going into this deep, dark hole, Aaron Rodgers, that is because he's contemplating opting out. I don't think trade is an option. The only reason trade would be an option is because he wants to keep his same money. I think he's thinking, do I take this pay cut?
He doesn't have an opt-out though, Rashad.
He has an opt-out. That's why
he does have an opt-out.
That's why this whole off season he was sitting there saying he does not want to play for Green Bay. Green Bay made it to where if you want to leave, you can leave. We won't pay you anything. You can opt out at the end of the season. Or, you can take this long contract, stay with us, or we can trade you and get what we want in return for you, and you can keep that same contract. He's sitting there thinking, how do I keep my contract and leave? Where can I go? Miami? Do I want to force them to trade the pieces that I'm going to need or want on that team? Or do I take a pay cut? Vegas, they have the money. They can trade for me.
He says, I am not a free agent. I am still under contract with the Packers.
He's still under. If you can opt out, you're still under contract. You know that, right? It's a player option. He's still under contract. He's not a free agent.
Yeah, he has till May 1st, I think.
I don't think he can. I'm telling y'all, I don't think he can out.
Steven,
I'm looking for it.
You don't remember last offseason when he was refusing to come back to Green Bay. When he said, I will not play for Green Bay, I will retire. You don't remember that? Please tell me you do.
He was doing that, but he ended up staying.
That's because they switched his contract and all of that stuff. My thing is, I've never seen it. I've never seen him not be selfish with his money. He's lost countless good receivers, including Devontae Adams. He didn't say, let me take a pay cut to keep my boy here and all of that stuff. And he complains that he's not getting
Well,
weaponry.
Rashad, that's a loaded statement though, because if you hate the organization and you hate the leadership, that's going to force you out the door quickly.
Well, I don't know what he said, honestly. What I've heard is they don't bring in players for him. But he does
which
nothing.
has grown
He does nothing.
discontent between him and the
But
organization.
he also does nothing to help retain those players, is what I'm saying. I've never seen him pull a Brady or any of these other players with these big contracts. And
Yeah,
I take a pay cut.
All right, here we go.
Yeah,
Here
he
we go.
did.
All right, y'all listen.
Not too many people pull a Brady.
Steven found it.
Y'all listen. What does Rodgers' contract look like if he's traded? A potential trade this offseason has a lot of ways it could go down, and the wording of the option bonus needed to be exercised before week 1 is crucial. The option bonus will make a big difference on how both sides, and let me close this out, on how both sides have to pay Rodgers in the event of a trade. Firstly, with the $58.3 million option bonus being fully guaranteed, the Packers cannot realistically release Rodgers. They will be on the hook for $58 million if they release him. If they did, I'll do you one better. It goes on to say, if they did release him, it would cost them $99.779 million in cap money as a pre-June 1st release. If he were designated as a post-June 1st release, Rodgers would count for $75.299 million against the cap in 2023, and a post-June 1st release at the end of 2024 would be at $24 million. So that leaves trading Rodgers as the only option. Let's handle the simple part of the deal first. If Rodgers is traded before June 1st, the dead money left on Green Bay would be $40 million. That is made up of the remaining restructure bonus of the $2.85 million, as well as the remaining signing bonus, proration accelerating onto the cap in 2023. If Rodgers were traded after June 1st, then the dead money would be split as $15 million in 2023 and $24 million in 2024. So here's the deal. If Rodgers, anything happens, he's going to get traded, and it'll be after June 1st.
Green Bay saved the most money?
I still think I still didn't hear nothing about the. I still heard nothing about the opt-out, but I think
they would owe him $99 million.
Releasing.
That's insane.
Releasing.
That is
him.
They're not releasing him.
That's
we definitely not
I'm
going to
not saying
$100 million of dead cap off of one player.
Damn, can I say something? I didn't say
they
they were going to release him. That's not what I said. I said he had that player option.
There is not a player option. It doesn't exist. You're getting false news, fake news, sir. Player option does not exist.
I might be. This was a year ago. I might have misheard.
He restructured his contract last offseason.
I remember he restructured his contract because he did not want to play there. They gave him more money, more guaranteed, and all that stuff. And what I was told was he had the option to leave in the offseason, and the Packers wouldn't owe him anything. He decided not to cut him.
The 3-year extension began in 2022 with 2 further option years. If both options are picked up, Rodgers would be on contract until the end of 2026.
Maybe
you have to have Green Bay eat some of that money, though, if you're going to trade for him.
100%.
They got no choice. They have no choice.
But here's the thing. Two things. You got to remember, they're not replacing him with anybody because they have the replacement in-house with Jordan Love, who's still on a rookie contract. So that's not a huge deal if they eat it.
Apparently, Steven,
the best bet for them is to trade him after the June 1st, because then there's only a $15 million cap hit for them this year and then a $24 million one next year. That's it.
Green Bay may be in the best spot, even because I'm hearing Jordan Love wants out of Green Bay too.
Nobody? I love you, Alex, but where have you heard that? Because it
was on Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report was the one that said that they may move on from Jordan Love if he doesn't start this year.
Well, I can tell you right now, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be a Packer next year.
This is what I would do. I would not give more than a 3rd round pick at least 2 third-round picks to Green Bay, Tua Tagovailoa, and I will not give up Christian Wilkins. I will make him take Raekwon Davis. 2 third-round picks, Tua and Raekwon Davis
for Raekwon, 2 third-round picks is
for
what you're
A-Rod.
paying out.
2 third-round picks, Tua and Raekwon for Rodgers.
Yeah, so you're
and a
playing
6th-round pick.
They don't
So
want
you're
to.
doing basically three third-round picks is pretty much what you're giving them.
If they give up Rodgers,
Raekwon Davis was a 2nd-round pick, but
yeah, but he's not worth a 2nd-round pick anymore. Neither is Tua ain't worth a 1st-round pick. So Tua's worth a 3rd-round pick right now.
Well,
if they give up Rodgers, they're going to run it with Love. They want to see what they got.
Because you guys got to think about this. You guys got to think about this.
Here with
I
2
get
quarterbacks. I got to pay.
I am not saying I am not opposed to Rodgers coming to Miami. I would love Rodgers to come to Miami because that will make us Super Bowl contenders. But how much are you going to get out of Rodgers? You know, he's 39 years old. He's going to be 40 probably by the time the season starts. I mean,
this league is built for 40-year-olds.
He started showing signs of wearing down last season.
No, he didn't.
I mean, I'm not saying not the whole
because
season,
he went on a run at the end of the season that almost made the playoffs.
And he has no receivers.
Started off the season.
That kid Romeo Dobbs is pretty damn good.
They took 2 rookie receivers they had to rely on.
Yeah, and Randall Cobb is his best receiver. That's the one he has the most
Romeo
connection
Dobbs.
Right,
Christian Watson. Christian Watson was the best receiver.
And Christian Watson didn't come on until after the middle of the season where he started playing well.
I'm very high in that kid, by the way, Christian Watson. I'm very high in that kid, Christian Watson. He is good.
Yeah, Christian Watson's real good, and Lazard is good. He was in and out of the lineup. So
and Lazard is another one. If you trade for Rodgers, I am trading Cedric Wilson, and I am getting Alan Lazard on this team as a slot guy.
Why?
Why?
I hate Lazard.
No. We don't need
Sherfield. Why would
Lazard? Lazard is better than Sherfield.
They're not getting. They're not getting Lazard.
They have 2 different styles of play.
You're playing Madden over there, Alex. You're playing Madden. They're not giving up.
Lazard won't cost that much to go get.
They don't want to give them up.
Lazard has a Waddle type style of play, and we have a Waddle and a Tyreek. Sherfield is
a free agent,
power big receiver. I'm not switching that up.
I'm almost ready to drive to New Orleans to stop them from getting Carr.
Carr, let me say something. I don't want Derek Carr. Okay, I do not want Derek Carr at all. You got you what you saw from Derek Carr is exactly what you're going to see.
No,
last year.
What I want to happen with Carr is I want the Jets to sit there and overpay the crap for him, trade away some assets, and just let Carr be Carr and fizzle out at the end of every year.
I will take Derek Carr under one. Give me Derek Carr. I hate Derek Carr just so much. I really, really hate Derek Carr. But if you say you'll give up Derek Carr for Derek Carr in the 3rd for Tua, oh yeah, come get him. And that way I can.
But Carr's not better than Tua.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Oh, yes, he is.
Alex,
Yes, he is.
Did you hear what I just said? I said they will give up Derek Carr in a 3rd. You can have Tua.
Alex, here's a statement that I'll say. To me, the difference between Carr and Tua is not worth the money that you'd have to pay Carr. How about that?
Okay, I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
What you would have to give up and pay Carr is not worth getting Carr over Tua.
Yes, I can agree with that, Steven.
Like I said,
I'm not giving up anything. You're going to have to make me take Carr. You're going to have to make it enticing for me. That's where that 3rd round pick comes in.
He's going to get dropped. No, he's going to get dropped. He's going to get cut after the.
Yeah, but how much do you think he's going to want on the open market? He's going to want a lot of money.
You think he's going to want 40?
I think
he's
so.
Going to get a Tannehill. He's going to get a Tannehill like deal where he can try to prove he still has it, so he can get another contract next offseason.
I'm telling you right now, if he ends up with the Saints, they're going to win that division and be a real force in that.
Yeah, they're winning that division
Yeah,
if he end up with
yeah,
the Saints.
yeah.
He
I can
is
believe
by
that.
far. He's a top 10 quarterback. There ain't no
They're
denying.
winning that division. They're winning that division.
And
They
the
may
four
win the
guys had.
division.
They got
I
Chris
tell you one thing.
Olave. They got pretty good
yeah, but they
offensive
gotta-
line, and they got
Yeah,
a good
but-
running back.
Crypto, you
He's
got
had
to worry
six
about. You also got to
different
worry
head
about Michael Thomas. You also got to worry about if they're going to keep Michael Thomas or not, too, over there in New Orleans. Because Chris Olave
they
is the
don't have
only
to
one
pay
they
him.
got.
He's not going to demand that.
Olave and Kamara are the only two star players you got in that offense.
They don't need
star.
They don't need that many star players. They got a good backfield
Or good
and offensive
players.
line.
And they have a good defense. Something Rodgers has
Oh,
never.
their
I mean,
defense-
something
their-
Kaz never had.
No.
Yeah, they defense
When
is
Jack Del
freaking
Rio,
good.
when Jack Del Rio was there, their defense was damn good with Khalil Mack.
No, it wasn't.
With Navarro Bowman,
The
Khalil
only
Mack.
thing I'm not sold on is Carr being a top 10 QB. Like,
He is a top 10. Look at his stats.
No, he's not.
His numbers
Look at his
did reflect that in the last couple of years.
And look at last year when they got rid of Gruden. Look what he did.
Yeah,
with a
and
good,
what-
with a
what-
good,
what
confident
record-
head coach.
What record did they have?
Him and
made
Tua's
the playoffs.
interception percentages are identical over their careers. Identical.
okay, but are you calling Tua a top 10 QB?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about
so
just
why
far
are
as the
you-
propensity to overthrow the ball, to turn over the ball are the same. Because a lot of people think it's tragic just to get Derek Carr because they think he's some sort of turnover machine when he's not.
I'm not arguing that. I just don't see him as a top 10 QB. But I haven't watched every game of his.
He's been in.
No,
been in
but what
league
Robert, what I'm
9
saying
years.
is people would default to that as if he's a freaking turnover machine and use that as their argument.
He's been in the league.
Yeah,
9
no, that's
years,
not where I'm coming from.
and he has 28 fourth quarter comebacks.
Okay.
He's on the top 5 of that list, and he's been in the league for 9
Okay.
years. He's had 6 different offensive coordinators and coaches.
Okay. Like you haven't. I haven't racked and stacked him, and I'll try and sit there and think about like the top 10 list that I would put together. I don't think he's below like 12 or 13. He very well could be top 10, but I don't know if he's top 10 in my viewpoint.
He's a top 10 quarterback in the league by stats and statistics, and by experts.
He had 1 year of
One bad
31
year.
touchdowns. He had 31 touchdowns and 12 picks in his third year. He has not capped over 28 touchdowns since then.
Yeah, and that has a lot to do with his running backs in the backfield taking up the bulk of those touchdowns that would have
and
been passing touchdowns.
He's never really had. I mean, you could say whatever. He's got a good receiver core now, whatever. But again, he doesn't fit that. He doesn't fit McDaniels' pick as a quarterback either. And you have Devontae Adams, who's a possession receiver. He jumps up and he's not a separation guy. You have his other guys. You got the tight end.
Wait, did you just underplay Devontae Adams?
He's not a separate.
He's still one of the best receivers in the league.
No. I said he's a possession
Take yourself off
receiver.
mute, Batman. You're on mute, Batman.
He's a possession receiver.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Who's contested catches.
What's going on, Batman?
Hey, Batman, I still think Jordan's better than LeBron.
Well, Alexander, your takes, come on.
Because Steven, let me ask you a question, okay? I get LeBron. I'm not taking anything away from LeBron because I think he's the best player of this generation by far. Okay,
right, of this generation. That's the way to phrase
But
it.
the thing about it is that Jordan faced Drexler, Malone, Oakley, Ewing, Kemp,
Elijah
Gary
Wan,
Payton,
Barkley,
Elijah Wan,
Julius
Barkley,
Irvin.
Who cares?
Julius Irvin, Isaiah Thomas.
Put some respect on LeBron's name, y'all.
Magic Johnson. He replaced a lot of greats.
Larry Bird.
Don't care.
Jordan faced tougher competition. Jordan faced tougher competition than LeBron did.
That's
Can you guys hear me?
You could proceed.
Yeah,
all
we can
you
hear you,
want. That
Batman.
doesn't mean it's true. That
We
doesn't
hear
make
you, Batman.
Hello, Batman.
So
Go ahead, Batman.
LeBron's the greatest small forward we've seen. No disrespect to Larry Bird or Scottie Pippen or James Worthy. I will say he's the
Did
greatest
you say
all-around
small
player. Yeah, he's the greatest
Yeah,
small forward.
no,
LeBron.
yeah, he plays that position. Yeah, he's
He
small.
plays
And no
both
disrespect
3
to
and
the
4.
greats. But I will say this is what I texted Steven. So there's better talent in the league now, and that's due to Jordan, right? Being worldwide sport. You know, you got players coming out of Europe. You know, Lou's favorite player, Luca, he's a beast. You know, and if it wasn't for Jordan when it came in '94, you will never see the NBA expand the way it did, right? So
Right.
That's true. That's true.
globally, he changed the game forever. LeBron did too, and so did Steph Curry. I mean, you know, it's just
No
different
question.
genres, different eras, right? But Jordan had to play a gauntlet of teams going into the playoffs. One thing that people don't realize, and again, it's not a knock on LeBron. You get what you take, what's in your path. LeBron always had a walk in the park in the Eastern Conference for many, many, many years, and it wasn't until he had to go to play somebody in the finals where he confronted a real team. And he always had a walk on the park. Like, look at his teams in Cleveland, and he could make it to the finals. He could have made it to the finals every year if he wanted, but that's not the reality. But you know, LeBron's he's a monster. He is a top 5 player. You know, whoever said, you know, barbershop talk you were saying, Steven, that is crazy for anybody to think that he's not a top 5 player. You know, and you know, I give him respect. What he did yesterday is something that I never in my lifetime thought anybody could accomplish. Ever.
Yeah, no, Batman, you're right about that.
And I
but
have
I'll
to
tell you
give him
what-
his flowers. That is a monster move. That is a monster move.
Agreed. And the thing is, anybody who doesn't think LeBron's a top 5 NBA player should not be watching basketball at all and should have no takes at all. They should never ever talk about that at all because LeBron
No one argues that, Alex. He's a
No,
great
I'm just
talent. He's a
saying.
great top 5.
Yeah,
But
I know, Crypto. I'm just saying is that he's arguably the best player of this generation, and what he did last night is just it's crazy. I mean, I give him his props, and I don't. Go ahead, Crypto. I'm sorry.
We got breaking news right there, Steven. I'm just breaking news.
I'm looking it up now. If you give me a second, I'll be able to tell you. So Barry Jackson reporting that the Miami Dolphins are hiring Butch Barry as their offensive line coach. He was the Denver O-line coach last year. He's worked in San Francisco, Green Bay, Tampa, the University of Miami, and he replaces Matt Applebaum. So, by the way, his history: he was the Denver Broncos 2022 offensive line coach. They were 5-12. He was the San Francisco's 49ers 2021 assistant offensive line coach. They were 10-7. He was a senior analyst, which is what Fangio is this year for the Eagles. He was a senior analyst for the Packers in 2020. They went 13-3. And then 4 years before that, he was the assistant offensive line coach from 2015 to 2018 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay, not that bad.
You know, so
I really thought they would have. I really thought they would have gone after David
an assistant.
Kuchak,
Mike Munchak.
Munchak. Yeah, Munchak.
I really don't know a lot about this guy. I can tell you, it's not the guy.
He's an unknown.
Yeah, he's an unknown.
That offensive line.
He's even more than an unknown than Applebaum. So here's what I'll say.
Yeah, but that 2021 offensive line was pretty good.
9 offensive line coaches in 10 years. Let's not make it 10 and 11. Okay, that's all I want.
Agree.
Make it 2 years.
There's the benefit of doubt.
But that 2021 San Francisco team, though, Steven, didn't they make the Super Bowl? Or weren't they?
Yeah,
they
was 10-7, and they made it to the championship game. And
yeah, they're
hey, that offensive line was really good, man. That offensive line was good.
Well, I mean, look, McDaniel knows him from his time in San Fran, so they know each other.
Exactly.
And so this is a McDaniel hire, 100%. This is a McDaniel.
Oh yeah.
Hire.
Yeah,
which I'm
it
okay
probably.
with.
Well,
Which
yeah,
I'm
he's
good
going
with.
with who he's
I will
familiar
say
with.
this,
Yeah,
that
he's
that
hiring
makes
who
me
he's familiar
makes
with.
me
But
feel better as a Dolphins fan that this is
Yeah.
that he had 100% say and he brought in the guy that he wanted for the offensive line. So
But
if
he
he
brought
thinks,
Applebaum too, though,
he
last
brought
year,
in
Steven.
Applebaum. What are you talking about? He had saying that.
I mean, look,
Applebaum wasn't shoved on him or forced on him.
I mean, I hear
Yeah,
you. I'm trying to look at the positives here, guys.
I think I think what it was is
like,
that they used to share bunk beds in San Francisco. That's probably why he brought him here. His
Oh
friends.
my God, please.
So,
Share
like,
bunk beds. God.
McGlynn,
either way, you
don't
guys.
forget McGlinchuk, the right tackle for San Fran.
McGlinchey.
Developed into an All-Pro
He's horrible.
under him.
All right, guys.
McGlinchey's not horrible.
I want to remind you all a couple things. Number one, tonight is Wednesday. Batman will not be doing a show tonight. He will be back next week. But he'll be back next week. I want to remind you guys,
You going on vacation, Batman? What's going on?
I gotta go to the grocery store. I gotta do laundry.
He's got.
You gotta do laundry in the grocery store.
That, Batman. Just say
The laundry store.
I gotta do laundry.
Gotta do
Crypto,
laundry.
you just need to find more creative laundry store or grocery stores.
He don't want
You can go to the show and do laundry.
He has
Just throw the clothes in the machine and fire up the stream.
Batman, you started that one. You should have just said I had some personal stuff.
Hey, Batman, go pick me up a public sub and ship it to me, bro. I haven't had those in a long time.
We gotta get Hungry Owls. That's what we gotta get.
You gotta get Hangry Owls.
So,
Batman promote.
Batman, what is your thoughts on what happens with Aaron Rodgers?
No. Hey, I got stuff. We're doing final thoughts of the day. That's what we're about to do. I do want to remind you.
So Steven's got to go do laundry.
I get your Super Bowl boxes, please. Who has
fire up the
Super
space.
Bowl boxes? Huh? Get your Super
I'm
Bowl
not gonna.
boxes.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how to play that stuff, so that's why I don't do it.
So for those, all right, I'll explain it to you. It's $25 per box, and after the boxes get filled, we then pull out numbers. You see the gray boxes on the outside. We go 1 through 9, right, or 0 through 9, and so let's say the middle box on the Eagles 9, and the middle box on the Chiefs is 3. So if the score ends up being 13-19 at the end of the third quarter, then whoever had the Chiefs with 9 and the Eagles with 13 or with 3, they would win the money for the end of the third quarter. They would win $250. Okay. So you got to fill up all the boxes, and then we randomly pull the numbers 0 through 9 on the outside. And then at the end of the first quarter, halftime, third quarter, and final score, the second number in all of those things, if the score is 0-0 at halftime, whoever got 0-0, 0 for the Chiefs and 0 for the Eagles is good. So most people pick their boxes because of where normally numbers get picked. But at the end of the day, it's a random thing of how we pick the numbers on the outside. So
it's four winners. There's 4 winners.
Huh? There are 4 winners.
4 winners.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Each quarter, 4 winners per quarter, right?
4 winners per quarter.
One winner per quarter. Stop it, Crypto. 1 winner per quarter. And if Crypto does decide he's not winning money, he's winning a lifetime supply of no hot dogs. None. Okay?
Like a hot dog.
Stop it, Steven.
Damn,
Steven, I told Crypto, and I texted. I want to go to that Baltimore game. I want to go though. I'll be there.
Well, hey, look, next year
All
the
right,
Baltimore
that's cool.
Beatdown,
Baltimore
Beatdown.
We'll be in Baltimore again.
We'll be in Philadelphia for the
Getting the
Philly
tickets.
Invasion, and we'll be in Washington for the FedEx Takeover. We're hosting all 3 of those parties and the tailgates.
Steven, you got to tell me some good hotels out there by the stadium. You got
Washington is about 20 minutes from my house, Steven.
Hey, Steven,
I'll
you got to
probably
tell
go
me
to
some good
Washington
hotels.
The stadium is.
Stadium.
Actually, I'm 5 minutes from
Washington
DC.
So we're already in the process. By the time the schedule gets announced, we will have a hotel partner for all 3 of these locations. We'll have everything. The only thing that we're not going to have or not be able to have is Philadelphia game tickets. Everything else we'll have. We'll have the tailgate setups for all you can eat, all you can drink, all you can eat for all 3 of them. We'll be
Why
partnered
not
up
have
with
the Philadelphia game tickets?
because we've been on the phone 2 days trying, with their ticket. There's no way to buy group tickets from them.
Because they're a high ticket ticketed team.
Yeah, they're in the
especially
Super
with
Bowl.
the Super
That's
Bowl.
why they're in the Super Bowl. That's why.
So Baltimore and Washington, we already have the hook. We already got the hook up there. Washington's going to be great because we're going to have a lower level ticket and an upper level ticket option. Baltimore, we're just going to have an upper level ticket option, and then we might be able to have a lower level ticket.
Yeah,
as long as the game's not in December, I'll make it.
That FedEx Field where the stadium is just falling apart.
Well, it's going to be fun nonetheless. We're going to have a good time. That whole weekend's going to be fun. We
It's
got a
actually
lot
fairly new
So
compared to all the rest of the stadiums.
I want to know who's going to KC for the game.
Well, it's probably going to be in Germany.
Well, I hope not because KC's about 15 hours away from me. So
It's a 50% chance the game's going to be in Germany.
You're gonna drive to KC?
Yeah, I'll drive to KC from Texas.
You drive to
15 hours.
Texas, Alex? Would you drive to Germany?
That's just drive to
I'll
Germany.
go to Germany.
Shoot, Germany?
Would you drive to Germany, Alex?
I checked for tickets for Germany.
You can't drive.
I was seeing if you were going to answer. Yeah, I would drive to Germany.
I checked tickets
If you
for
get your
Germany
car
because
on a ferry, you can drive it.
they got.
Hold on.
We got the Germany fan
That's a
club,
long
Steven,
ferry
that
ride.
they came for.
You're right.
And I told them. I told them last year. I said to them,
there's an
If my car,
there's an outside chance that I'll be going to the Germany game. It depends. A lot needs to happen.
I spoke to them last year, Steven, and I was telling them at the fan fest event. I said to them at boat campers, I said to them, I've been hearing about Dolphins playing in Germany next year, and now with Kansas City, it's probably going to happen. So
I believe that the Dolphins will be in Germany next year.
And there's rumors about Brazil and Mexico the following year.
I would love Brazil. Now I will go to Brazil.
Guys, I'm already going up there for the Cowboys game because I got a couple buddies of mine down here.
You got to come for the Cowboys game here, Alex. You got to come for the Cowboys game here.
I know. Yes, that's what I said, Batman. I got a couple of buddies of mine that are willing to drive to Miami that are Cowboy fans.
Okay. All right. Hey, let's do final thoughts. And if y'all like today, if y'all hated today, and by the way, Miami Fan Talk Show with the $2 donation. Thank you so much. Only $2 donated to the channel today, Miami Fan Talk Show. So you're the man. Thank you, Miami Fan Talk Show.
Shout out to Big Philly.
Let's go. Breaking news: Batman got to wash his underwear.
Yep.
Breaking news: Batman forgot to wash his boxes.
All right.
Listen, it
Let's
piles
go.
up.
Final thought of the day, Robert. Final thought of the day, Robert. You've had a lot of background noise today, Robert. You've been doing a lot of stuff today.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
Man's got to work.
It'll be an interesting off season. Interesting to see who the offensive coach hire was. Hopefully, other teams screwed up. Hopefully, someone overpays for some stuff that they probably shouldn't. And it's not us. But a lot left to see and a lot left to unfold. So just kind of going with it. And as far as the basketball stuff, I stand by my original question. If you had to win one game, otherwise you get shot in the head.
If you had one opportunity, would you catch it?
You can count on.
Sorry, had to go 8 Mile there.
No. You completely
want to take your last shot?
Huh?
You completely messed up the beat on that. You need to say it with more feeling, more fuck everyone.
You had one shot, or one opportunity. Would you catch it or let it slip?
A little bit better.
One shot.
A little bit better.
Go ahead, finish.
But yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right. Hey, I love you, brother. Thank you for coming on today, man.
Hey, man, have a good one. Be safe.
You're the man, brother.
Could I go next, Steve? Because I gotta get back here to work.
All right, Batman. We know you gotta work. You're so important. The mail can't get delivered without you.
Yeah,
Batman.
the mail can't get delivered. Yeah,
it's too loud. I can't start the truck.
And listen, the mailman does deliver on Sundays.
Watch out for them cats, Batman.
Listen,
watch out for them cats
shout out
and
to
those dogs.
Steven, man. I know a lot of people got mad today because of Steven's takes. But listen,
All right.
it's good to have these conversations.
I knew two things, right? Here's how much I love sports.
Steven, I love your takes.
I know that Wednesday's usually a great day because it's Wildin' Out Wednesday and people get up here and people, donate. It's a great day. We had $2 in donations total today, and we had the least amount of viewers for the last 2 weeks today. I'm okay with that because I wanted to give LeBron the respect he deserved today. That's how much I love sports, that I'm willing to sacrifice today.
Bullshit.
For whatever Caslin.
Swear jar. Swear jar, Caslin.
I wanted to give the respect it deserved, and it deserved it.
So I'll say this. Shout out to everybody, man. Steven, there's a rumor on the streets that the Dolphins are going to go after a big fish in free agency, and we're talking about a high-ticketed fish. I'll just say this. Tua it's not for certain that Tua will be the starter. I'll just say that. It's not for certain. As much as I want that to be true, for Tua to be here next year and be the quarterback, because Pete owes me a Tyreek jersey if that happens. There's a rumor on the street. Again, I'm not saying it's quarterback. I'm not saying it's an offensive guard or tackle or linebacker. I'm just saying
it could be a kicker.
It could be a kicker. It's going to be a high-ticketed fish.
Kicker,
it's going to be a high-ticketed
kicker.
Which,
but much love to everybody, man. Fins up, and Kobe is the best of all time. All right, guys.
Love you
later.
Kobe.
All right, Batman.
Out of here, Batman. The disrespect was real. Caslin, final thought of the day.
Yeah, why's my butt flat?
Just hey, it's all good and fun, and we can have these conversations about every sport. Football, who was the best running back of all time? Baseball, who's the best player of all time? Best pitcher? It's just
Sammy Sosa.
We'll all have different opinions on but
Mike Piazza.
Like I said, you could take. I think Jordan was the greatest athlete.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes,
Caslin.
That's athlete. Yes,
and
yeah,
he
I
had.
agree with that.
If you've seen what he said, what he prepared, his games weren't really games to him. They were the fun. His practice was more of the game than anything else. That was his planning, and that's where he tried the hardest. And him playing the game was just a game to him. But he had to kill most. His killer instinct and his drive to win, I've never seen that like it in anybody else in sports, period. He's by far the best athlete and best player in basketball.
LeBron James. Thank you. I appreciate
good.
that.
No.
Caslin,
that's
your
good points,
final thought has
man.
been great. Duly noted. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Love you, Kaz. You're the man, brother.
Right on, Kaz. We'll holler at you,
Right on,
Kaz.
Kaz.
Be good,
Right on,
man.
Kaz. Be good, bro.
Hey, if you like today's show or you hated today's show, donate to the channel. Help the guys. 3 hours every morning. Let's go.
Donate to the channel.
Donate to the channel. Come on.
Or else Steven's gonna come out and find you like Pennywise. He's gonna pop out like Pennywise.
I can tell you this is definitely the worst month I've had in it started out the worst. I know we're only 8 days in, but it's
just wait until people get their tax return, Steven. Just wait until people get their tax return.
I know, right? Yeah, that's what it is.
I haven't hit the send button.
Thousands and thousands of dollars.
I got you, crypto. All right, Alex. Final thought of the day.
Yeah, watch. You're gonna get a cash up $2,000 for donations.
I'll believe that when I see it. I've never seen it.
But yeah, man, it will be interesting off season. Let's see what happens, with the quarterback position, and if Saquon Barkley's out there, I'm all in on Saquon at the running back position. I still think maybe we need to get a slot receiver because Cedric Wilson. I'm still not sold on him, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. As far as basketball goes, Steven, I will never take away your opinion on LeBron because I cannot disagree with you on LeBron. But the only thing I can disagree with you on is that as the greatest player of all time. I still think it's Jordan because of the competition he had to face going through the playoffs into the finals, because it was harder competition than LeBron had to face. But congratulations to LeBron, and he did something that nobody thought it would happen. That nobody thought what he could do or anybody could do actually. But congratulations to him, and shout out and to Anthony Davis. At least pretend to be happy for LeBron. Don't just sit there and just sit on the bench and be like, oh, who cares?
I have so much stuff to say about Anthony Davis.
Yeah, bro, it's just crazy, man. Like but Steven, one more thing, and I'll let you go. I
showed
promise.
up a little bit last night. They would have won that game. They would have
Agreed.
won.
The one more thing, and then I'll go.
13
Steven.
points. Are you kidding me, Anthony Davis?
But the fact is that he didn't celebrate. He just sat down after LeBron shot shot to Jay to pass Kareem. He didn't show no emotions.
Well, I think they are friends, but he definitely he's different. All right, hurry up, Alex.
The thing about it though is that LeBron always said that he was the greatest. He said it in numerous press conferences. Jordan, you never heard that out of his mouth.
Oh my God!
You never heard that out of his mouth.
You're done, Alex. Bye. The man was asked straight up by Shaq to say, "No, I don't want to do that. Nope, I don't want to do that. Nope. All right, fine. You're forcing me. All right, I think I'm the best because I need to think that. But there are a lot of great. The man was trying to push off like y'all. I can't. I just can't. Go ahead, go ahead, please.
He tried.
Final thought.
Steven, what I've learned from you today in this discussion about the so-called GOAT is that LeBron James is no better than Danny Shades.
Oh my God.
That's what I've learned from all of this.
Do better in life. Just be better.
Steven.
Be better.
Danny Shades.
No.
Has he's better than Danny Shades, Steven?
Anything else, Crypto?
I'm just messing with you. I'm trolling, Steven. I'm trying to get. I'm trying to
go crazy.
I know, man. I was trying to get it out of you, man. I was trying my best to gaslight you on that one. I was trying.
As long as now you know that's what you were trying to do, I get it. We're good.
No, I know, man. I'll be trolling the people about Danny Shades. But hey, listen, congrats to LeBron. He did it. He finally got through it. But it's gonna be interesting. Now it's the countdown to the next person that's gonna eclipse this record. So I'm saying that person hasn't been drafted yet. Actually, that person is in this year's draft, to be honest with you. That's probably gonna break LeBron's record. But I say, other than that, it's going to stand for a long time, at least for a while. LeBron ain't got nothing to worry about as far as somebody catching that scoring title no more. It's going to be a minute. So he can rest assured that record's going to stand for at least a couple of decades. At least in my opinion, it will. Unless they just stop playing defenses completely and Giannis or James Harden get it. But yeah, LeBron he's pretty good. Top 3. Top 2, whatever. But hey, it's all good. I just can't wait to see him play with his son. That's really what I'm waiting for. Screw all these records.
That's going to be so cool when that happens, by the way.
That's what I'm really waiting for. I don't care about all this other stuff. But I just want to see him play with his son and see how that's going to play out. Because he that's all he's holding out for. Because you saw the press conference, right, Steven?
Yeah.
He said that he's basically that's what he's waiting for. He's just waiting to play with his son, and then that's when he'll hang it up. That'll be the time he retire. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be the Utah, Oklahoma City, because those are the teams that's got all the picks, the high picks. Right. But yeah, the football thing. I think what Batman said is interesting. I didn't know about that. That so-called maybe big splash that they make could be a quarterback. So I don't know.
I'll believe it when I see it. And as far as I'm concerned, right now it's Tua.
Yeah, it's him now. But he was saying it's not set in stone 100% because they may make a big move. That's interesting.
I will say that they will listen to any option that comes their way. How about that? I'll give them that much.
Yeah. Also, it won't be the first thing that Greer. It won't be a surprise to me when it comes to Greer when he sells you who's going to be his starter, and then he goes behind the closed doors and try to make deals to upgrade the position. That technically that's what general manager is supposed to do, but he satisfied us in the press conference last Monday about telling us that we want to go with Tua going forward, but yet he's going to do whatever he can if a better option comes on the table to do his due diligence. Because didn't he say the same thing about Deshaun Watson? Well, I had to do my due diligence. He'll say that about Rodgers. If Rodgers show interest, he'll say, I got to do my due diligence. He'll do the same thing.
He will.
Yeah, he'll just say that. That's his way around it. And then if he pulls the trigger, then we'll be what? Maybe Super Bowl contenders or favorites.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be interesting. March 12th is the new date. That's the new big day when the new league starts, Steven. That's when we'll know whether or not Greer is trying to do that. That's interesting. But we'll be going to the game
for lunch.
We'll be going to the Commanders, Eagles, Ravens, and Jets. We'll be there in the stadium.
Philly Finvasion, the Baltimore beatdown 2023, and the FedEx takeover.
Right around the corner from my house. The FedEx takeover. That's gonna be a good one.
Here we go.
Did you say first level seats for that one?
Say what?
Steven, did you say first level seats for that game?
So Washington, we have hookups on the lower level and upper level. Baltimore, we know at minimum we have upper level, maybe lower level seats. And Philadelphia, you're going to be on your own for seats. But we're going to try to have designated sections in the lower level and upper level where we're like, hey, this is where a majority of us hey, look, this is going to be a safe section. We'll say, hey, try to get
the two levels.
Sections. Yeah. So we're going to make it as safe as possible and family friendly and, all you can drink, all you can eat, DJ. We're excited about this, right? Like to
tail greeter, right? The same. Yeah.
Tail greeter and Miami Sports Music. We're doing this. Honestly, it's really myself that's putting these together along with my buddy Ryan Keeling. And then we're working with local fan clubs in each of those markets, which are great. Philadelphia, we're working with some of the PA fan clubs. In the Washington, we're working with some of the West Virginia and the Northern Virginia and
are you doing the day prior event? You remember how you did
we're doing a meet and greet the night before in those places. We already
Philly too, right? There's some good Philly.
Well,
we already places in Philly.
We can't announce it yet, but we got it. We know where we're going to do the meet and greet in Philadelphia. We know where we're going to do the meet and greet in Baltimore. We know where we're going to do the meet and greet in DC. Which is great. So now it's a matter of getting the hotels linked up and signed up for these. So once the schedule comes out, we can get those dates figured out. And
you think they will let you do a meet and greet at MGM?
What the meet and greet in Washington is going to be done at the Washington DC Fan Club Sports Bar, which is really cool. So.
Oh, okay. I was going to say MGM might be an option.
No, we're doing it at the local. We want to work with local fan clubs in these places. Baltimore really doesn't have one, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do Jimmy's Famous Seafood again. Yep, and they were great. They were so hospitable.
Yeah, that was nice. I liked that.
And the setup there is great for us, and we think that we hope to have double what we had there last year. And then Philadelphia, we hope we have a big turnout. And then obviously Washington's going to be big too. So the FedEx takeover.
Yeah, Philly night. That's going to be a nice one because there's a lot of nice spots.
When it comes to Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, I just hope that the games aren't on a Thursday night. That's going to be a big thing. We're still going to do it, but
I just thought about it because the meet and greet on Wednesday is going to be tough.
Meet and greets on Wednesday would be very tough. And then, so we just hope they're not Thursday night games. If they're Sunday or Monday games, we can get away with it, right?
Yeah.
You know, we can make them work or whatever, but we just hope they're not Thursday games. And the other hope for me personally is they're not all bunched together where like Philadelphia and Baltimore and Washington, or like two of those games are back to back. My hope is that Philadelphia is like week 3, Baltimore's week 7, Washington is week 14, because this year it was so like the first 8 weeks I did not sleep in my house the first 8 weekends of football. I was on a couch.
You was literally on the road every time.
On the road for it actually was 9 weeks. I was on the road. And so that's so tough. So my hope is that, you know, it's tough because you know, the plan is to go to almost every home game this year, depending on how sponsors and stuff go. I'm giving you all some.
You got to cash in those travel reward points.
I don't have any travel rewards points, man. I you know, it's tough. You should do a show on the NFL expansion that is coming up with the 4 to 6 teams in Europe. Kaslam says one day. I don't know if that's happening anytime soon.
NFL expansion for 4 to 6 teams. That's huge. That's a lot.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen. Personally, I could see London.
It's going to be a nightmare.
London is they get a team in London, then maybe I think that's a possibility down the road. But
what are they talking about having a 24-week season?
Right, and here's the reality: the NFL does really good with these out of town games, right? So the NFL's got a good thing. We get to play a regular season game in Germany and in England and Mexico, and they're making just enough money by having different teams play there. It behooves them to not expand. If you want to have the Jacksonville Jaguars in London, maybe, but I can tell you right now, Jacksonville's putting their footprint down in.
They like London.
Duval. They like Duval, man, and I just don't see them ever leaving. I would have said 4 or 5 years ago, there's a good chance Jacksonville goes to London. Now I feel less likely. You know, the longer they stay in Duval, the more likely they stay there. So permanently. So I don't know how I feel about that, Kaslam, personally. We can talk more about that on a future day. But yeah, I hope you guys do that. And again, get your Super Bowl boxes. I want to fill this thing up, man. I don't, you know, we want to raise some money for Dolphins Cancer Challenge in the channel. And I can't do that without y'all raising, you know, filling up these boxes. So get your boxes. Get them. Get them now. Get your boxes. Get your Super Bowl boxes. $25 a box. All right. Get them. All right, Crypto. Love you, brother. Be good, man.
Okay, then, Steven.
All right, man. My show today, shout out to LeBron James. Love LeBron. Love LeBron. Got his shoe up here with the Heat. Got his shoe up here with the Lakers. Got his Cleveland Cavaliers throwback jersey hanging up. Got the LeBron Heat jersey on today. I'm just all LeBron'd out today. Love me some LeBron. Okay. Congratulations on hitting the milestone that you set. I personally think you are the GOAT. I don't care what anybody else has to say. Y'all are wrong. I'm right. If y'all don't like it, y'all can go somewhere else. But apparently a lot of you did, because there's only 30-something of y'all watching live right now. But yeah, I knew what today was, but I wanted to give LeBron his flowers today, man. He's such a good player, and I enjoy watching him. And I don't get why he gets all the hate, but it is what it is. And I think he's the GOAT personally, and big fan of him. Tomorrow's Thursday. I think hopefully Cameron will be on with me. I'm not sure if he will or not, but hopefully Cameron will be on. And then Friday, Jason Sarney will be on, and we'll keep it moving. And then Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday. That'll be a lot of fun. I hit the wrong button. I just accidentally hit those. Okay. Hope you all enjoy the rest of today. Go enjoy your family, time with your family, friends. Get some work done if you haven't gotten work done. Do me a huge favor if you're watching this. Please hit the like button. Please share with your friends and family. And if you are able to, please donate to the channel. Help the channel grow. I do this every day. This is my job. So when you guys don't donate, it makes it tough. So look, donations are a big thing, and they help this channel move forward. So if you're able to donate, it helps. You can donate on Cash App or PayPal. The links are in the description. As a matter of fact, I'll move the links over here. And they definitely help. They go such a long way into helping the channel grow. And we want to do that. If you're able to donate on YouTube only, donate on YouTube only. It all goes to the same place for the most part. YouTube does take their cut, but so does Cash App and PayPal. But yeah, if you're able to donate, do that. And if you're not able to, at least share with other people the links when we're on live and let people know the replays. Hey, look, this is a great show. Those are all things that help the channel grow, and hitting the like button and all of that. And subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Subscribing is free. So I love you all. Y'all are the best. Be on the lookout for more information about the Philly Finvasion, the Baltimore beatdown, and the FedEx takeover. Go on Facebook. Look up those event pages for those things. You'll see them up there. And I love y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Peace.
I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter collar. Whole squad been trained to go. Fence for life, we throw the foe. Singing this just to welcome bro. To a time, to a time. Time to grind, time to shine.